Good evening. How is everyone tonight? Welcome to Creator Hangout. We're going to have a couple people digging the soundtrack. Thanks. We're going to have a couple people joining us tonight. I think I've got James and Stony who's going to come on. It's Creator Hangout Wednesday, as always. So we're going to be doing some stuff. It's going to be a smaller crew tonight, which is okay. I'm tired, so I don't want to go crazy. I did just invite some Kickstarter people. If you have a Kickstarter going and you need some promotion, come on in and just let's hang out and see what we can do. But only if you get a Kickstarter live, not pre-shows, not all that stuff. But yeah, we're gonna hang out tonight for a little bit. Do our normal, talk about Cthulhu Invades Wonderland. We're gonna talk about some issues, and I'm back online doing my thing. We have our first guest right here in the background. But I have to let my dog out of this room. So I'm going to let Ed come in. And when Ed comes in, I'm going to let him introduce himself. Hey, Ed Davies, how are you, brother?
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. Sorry for the short notice of inviting you.
Oh, no problem.
I actually thought my schedule was full for tonight. And then I looked at, we have the schedule for Cthulhu Invades Wonderland, and it's empty. It's the next Thursday that I'm doing thing that it's very full. So I have room for people. So let's do it.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Tell people what's going on.
All right, so I'm the writer of the series called Immortal Era. Currently, we're on Kickstarter selling issues 1 through 6. This issue is the issue that'll close out the story arc. So the basic premise of the story is it's a post-apocalyptic story that takes place 200 years in the future in a world where no one can die. So this one will finally answer some of the big questions and, of course, lead to more questions. So this is the one that's felt like a giant uphill to get here, but finally finishing out this first story arc and moving toward the trade that'll be coming out shortly after.
Nice. So this is the last of the to get to the trade, right?
Yeah, this one will finish out this whole story arc called Pieces of Death, and then the trade will be following. Probably, I'm thinking August or so, but I'm still debating whether I'm going to package the trade with issue 7 or do each one separately. So issue 7, we're about halfway through with all the pencils on that one. So trying to keep things moving quickly so people don't have to wait too long between issues.
Ed, it's Slaying's Comics right now. You need your own show, but not on Tuesdays. I do have my own show. I run a show when I am live on Kickstarter. So when I'm live on Kickstarter, I run a show. This is that show. Nice. So it's cool. So when I'm live, I'm doing my thing. Ed's been on it before. So let's look at I haven't looked at your Kickstarter in a while because I have my own 2 that I'm running that are crazy, right?
Oh yeah, you're busy. I mean, just one keeps me so preoccupied. I don't know how you're doing 2 at the same time, especially one on the scale of the Cthulhu one. That's a beast right there.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And in fact, my instinct here's just to give you an idea. You guys can't see my screen, but I'm like, let's look at Ed's Kickstarter. I am literally in my Kickstarter. I literally went to it, even though my intention was to go to Ed's. My instinct was like, I got to check my numbers.
I know that feeling.
Let's see what we got. I'll bring mine up we'll get some people's up and we'll see what's going on. Here's mine. Bomb. Hey, Danny. Danny, if you want to come on and talk, you're more than welcome to. You have a Kickstarter live. What's the name of Ed's book again? We're going to talk. Yeah. We'll talk about it. Hey, Christy, how are you?
Immortal Era, like the hat says. You can get this hat on Kickstarter right now.
So let's take a look at it real quick. Christy, you want to introduce yourself real quick before we go into Ed's?
Okay, sure. What do you want me to say just about the Kickstarter?
Just talk about who you are in general. We'll get to your Kickstarter, I promise.
Oh, okay. No, it's kind of, I'm also sort of famished. I was going to head over to Del Taco. I was like, I better go eat. And then it's like, hey, I'm doing this thing. I'm like, oh, okay, I better go do it. So sorry if I'm a little hangry. But I promise I won't unleash hell on everybody. But hi, everybody. My name is Christy Shin. I do a comic called Demon Bitch. It's a low-level demon from the 13th pit of hell where people throw their dog shit in gum wrappers. I recently got elected to be the president of CAPS, Cartoon artist, Cartoon Art Professional Society. Sorry, I'm like wanting to go everywhere else. That was founded by Sergio Aragonés, and I just did Asian Invasion. And yes, and I'm doing a Kickstarter right now. Dropped yesterday. I'm at about roughly, I think, 17%. But you know how we are. I want more.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's hold on, I gotta bring Danny's Kickstarter up. Danny, I'll send you the link, Danny, if you want me to. Here, I will. I don't know if you want to be on, but if you want to be on, Danny, you're more than welcome to. It's taken care of. It's been a long day for me, guys, so that's why I'm a little low energy right now, and I apologize. It's not that I mean to be low energy. It's I've been at a signing all day today, so
Yeah, I saw that. How'd that go?
it went okay. It went okay. That store has a great turnout, great fan base, but they don't come at one time. So it's like small little like pockets, right? So it's not like, oh, I'm just busy in the morning. It's this pocket, then you wait an hour, then this pocket. You know, I'm talking to the owner, and you know, it's just crazy.
No, I get what you mean. Like the Comic Bug was like that. Like they actually have two different stores, one in Culver City in LA and the other one in Manhattan Beach. So it's like weird because they know the pattern. So the first bid is like 11 to something, and the next bid is like 1 to 4 or something, because that's when it's the best traffic. And hi Jim, and hi Wendy. I just want to say hi to both of them. So
what's this about? Hey Travis. What actually, that's a great question. So Christy's never been on Creator Hangout. I know Ed has, or at least watched it if he hasn't been on. I think he's been on it.
I've been on it. I think it was on when the last campaign was running.
Okay. You and I are running a lot of them.
Oh, yeah.
So what we do at Creator Hangout, I ask some provocative questions. I get to all that. But what we also do is we try to get backers. I don't bullshit around. I don't mess around when we do this thing. The goal is to get backers. That's our goal. So we're gonna talk about campaigns, and I'm gonna encourage you guys to look at those campaigns, and I'm gonna write down the numbers that we start this night out, and when we end, and I'm not going to leave till everyone gets at least a backer, because that's what should be the thing. We got to ask for the sale and talk about it. So it's a little different than most shows where kind of just like, well, it is what it is. No, like the goal is backers. Let's not kid each other and stuff. But during that time, I'm also going to entertain you. We're also going to ask some hard-hitting questions about campaigning, about Kickstarter, about all these things, what struggles you guys are going through. And I'll share some struggles that I'm going through. Because believe it or not, even though my campaign is kicking ass, it's still like hard, right? It's hard.
Yeah, like I have technically, like I guess I did a percentage or two lower than last time, but then I'm asking for more money. So I made more money last night, and then yesterday, and now it's like slowed down a bit. Hey Braden, but it's like, you know, you have to keep pumping it. You have to keep pumping it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. But I'm also going to do, since I don't want to go away for a long period of time, I'm going to just do like some DoorDash or some shit, because I'm doing hardcore right now. I was going to
go get some food. We're going to talk about Ed's campaign for a second. If you want to go order something real quick, and you know, you can.
Oh, it's fine. Yeah.
Mood or whatever.
But I want to listen. I'll multitask.
All right. You got it. All right. So Ed, let's look at your campaign. I haven't looked at it since I backed it. I think I was a day one backer because
you were right in there. I think like the first hour you were right in there.
And I'm trying to partner with David. With Davis, and we can't say what it is, but I may be doing some Immortal Era stuff if everything works out as planned.
Oh yeah.
All right. So tell us about this. Tell us what's going on and what goal we're going to try to have to hit for you. So right now we've got the 3888 and we've got 123 backers. So we've got to increase that this show. But what is I know I hit you up with a personal goal. So what did I hit you for your personal goal? You
gave me 200.
Okay.
So that's at the point we're at. It still has 24 days. I ran this one longer because I'm going to be doing WonderCon, and I really wanted to have an active campaign to see if I can pull backers in, because I haven't had a campaign active when I was doing a bigger con. So I wanted to see if I could actually pull in new backers that way. So this is my attempt to see how that goes. And then if it works well, I'll make sure that my campaigns work around the bigger cons that I do.
See, yeah, I struggle with that because I feel it draws my attention in two different directions, right? I'm trying to sell books at the con, and now I'm trying to get you to also go on the Kickstarter. It makes it really, really hard But
Okay.
I don't think there's a wrong way to do it. I just whatever you feel, you know.
Yeah, I just figure, all right, especially with it being a 3-day con, you do get those people that come back. They'll buy issue 1 on the first day, and then
Sure.
hopefully you get them hooked, and they'll buy the rest of them the next day. So I can say, hey, you want issue 6? Here it is. And I'm just going to do a simple thing like, hey, back it right now, get a free sticker bundle. Just throw away some stickers. I don't want to give anything too big because I know how easy it is for someone to cancel their pledge, and you don't want to hand away
Sure.
a huge package and realize you just lost it all.
So tell us again about Immortal Era. Tell us, where you're cutting up. And Chuck edited this one, from what I hear.
Chuck did edit this one because my wife, who's my normal editor, she was involved in a pretty bad car accident.
Ooh.
So she couldn't even look at a computer screen without getting a huge migraine. So I had to kind of call in Chuck and say, hey, I need help. My wife can't be in here for this issue. So he stepped in and he really helped step up where the issue was going to go. I had to actually get the artist to do a few extra pages because Chuck made some points. And I thought, you know what? I like what he's saying. And the artist is always happy to get more pages of work. So this one, it's a big showdown. We kind of left issue 5 with all of our characters split up and both of them running into some big foes. And this issue kind of tries to see who's going to win these giant battles that I set up.
Nice. Yeah, you got you got 3 major storylines. You got a couple of small storylines, and this kind of it's all 3 of those together type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because this was the first time I really split the characters up in issue 5 because everybody was kind of centrally located. We had one character who would leave and go, but now each one is split and each one was left with a huge headache on their hands at the end of issue 5. There is definitely going to be a trade, Braden. That's going to be, hopefully, I'm thinking August. I want to make sure that I have everything sent out for this campaign before I even think about launching another one. But I'm actually going to be printing the trade at the same time that I print this big order. So the trade will be coming out, and that'll be end of summer that'll be dropping.
Okay, so you're gonna print it in advance?
Yeah, I'm going to print it in advance. Basically, I'm going to print in advance and cross my fingers that enough backers come in Kickstarter to actually pay for what I put out. But yeah, I always think whenever I'm putting out a book, I always like to put money aside so I'm pay for it. Whether if my Kickstarter succeeds or fails, I'm here and I have it printed out and paid for before any backers come, and then the backers really keep the machine moving so the next issue can actually get funded. So with the trade, that one will be a kind of a big endeavor because I plan on printing a lot of them because I know most of the people I talk to say that single issues don't really sell once people can just buy it all in one trade.
Yeah. I think it's kind of hard. So yeah, no, I definitely understand that. So well, that's cool. Well, congratulations. So, all right, that's the quick pitch, and we are at. We've already got a backer from 88 to 122.
Nice.
So we're already getting backers. That's what
awesome.
I like to see.
Hey, every time I come on your show, backers come, so it's good. You bring the luck to the campaign.
That's why I do it.
I know. That's why I'm on it.
Let's see what Jeff had to say. I'm thinking of not displaying my single issues now. I have a graphic novel just to make the table clear. What do you do? I don't have that situation. Jeff and I can't answer that. Maybe Christy can, because I broke down. I haven't made the trade yet. Cthulhu's a trade and Holiday Spirits trade, and you just have single issues. So, Christy, have you you've jumped a trade with Demon Bitch, right?
Well, I've done all.
Well, they're kind of all trades.
Yeah, like they're all graphic novels personally. Yeah. Like they're 40. So I for me, cost wise, for like the floppies or something,
right.
I didn't see a point in it, and plus it would just kind of stress me out if I had to keep that up. But Jeff, you could just kind of throw that in as a package deal. Like if you have a graphic novel, let's say they don't want to throw down 20 for a graphic novel. I don't know how much you're selling it for, but what I would recommend is like, okay, we got this. This is 20, but maybe like for 2 issues. I don't know how much you're selling the issues for. I'm guessing they're probably like $5. That's what I've seen on average. But just saying, like, for half the cost, why don't you go and just get 2? You like it, go get the thing, go get the graphic novel. So, I don't think it's bad. I think it's kind of like a thing. It depends on how much your trades are and what you're willing to eat. Now, if they're kind of like wanting to go and say, well, I don't know, graphic novel versus this, well, you can say, well, why don't I do this like with a trade with my trades? What I can do is I can go ahead and give you a deal like on, let's say you get 20, you get $20 for all four, but what's better than the graphic novel? I'll throw in a sticker or a bookmark or something. Just
Right.
something
Yeah.
like that you can give away that they feel like they're walking away with more. And then maybe just sign something interesting on each of the covers, like offer
Yeah.
a signature on each of the covers. So kind of put an additional touch to it. I mean, if you want to give away a sticker, fine. If it's not going to be too cost effective or too cost detrimental, but we can also do a bookmark. I've seen people give out bookmarks. Like you just have a nice bookmark. You could print them for cheap. Say, hey, you get a bookmark if you get 4 trades.
Hey, Jerome.
Hey, Jerome.
Hey,
And I
David.
always do stickers. Stickers
Oh, yeah,
seem to be.
You haven't seen the t-shirt yet. Let me stand up and show it. Yeah. The Yankee Swappers Granite State
Nice.
Punk t-shirts are in.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't see. Now I wish I bought a shirt.
See? They're pretty cool. All right, Christy, we're going to talk about your campaign. Hopefully that answers your question. My answer, Jeff, is have the trades, but keep some of the variant issues maybe in a box or maybe on display. So these are special, like these are the higher tier ones we don't have, and pretty much act like you sold out of the other ones, you know?
Or like put them in together and put them with a package of stuff. So it's like a collector's edition.
Sure, a big
Yeah,
collector's box or
bundles.
whatever.
Yeah.
And for me, I'll keep the CGC. I always have graded copies of all the single issues. So I'll keep the CGCs. I have my CGC rack. So
Right.
my thought is once the trade's out, I'll have access to them unless it's a travel con, and the less you got to lug around, the better. But I would always have those under the table. And yeah, bundling sounds like a good idea. And then, for the high-end collectors, they'll always have the CGCs they can buy up.
Right. All right, Christy, you are up. Let's check out what this bitch has been doing.
Oh, yeah. Wendy actually contributed. So thank you, Wendy. She
Yeah,
threw
but
down.
that doesn't count because I hadn't promoted you yet. So we still got to get you one. I don't count it.
Okay.
So it is what it is. We're going to keep
All right.
going.
All right. So what it is that this is to fund. This is Demon Bitch, You All Suck. And I did give the overview of Demon Bitch, I do believe. So what it is this is to fund her graphic novel Triggered. This was my therapy for 2 years of COVID right there. I was stuck for 2 years with this bitch. Every year I've released a graphic novel of Demon Bitch. Last year I kind of didn't feel it because I was just like, we were all locked down in California. So we were kind of heavily restricted. We could go out, but it was slowly opening up. So basically what it is that I got the 2 Tamagotchi pins. There's a piece of original artwork, but that has actually been bought. A tiki style Demon Bitch woven patch and sticker. And by Mary Zorlita Bellamy, she's doing a charm and a pack of 3 prints. And she's actually one of the artists on My Little Pony, the new card game that you could pre-order. And then I want to kind of break it past 7,500 so we can offer a hardcover version, because this is 137 plus pages of bullshit. Like I have a paperback version, but I want to break the $7,500 range so that I can go and do hardcover books. I mean, not everyone's going to want a hardcover, but like print a decent amount of hardcover books.
So you're not upgrading people's pledges to hardcover, but you're going to offer the hardcover.
I will offer the hardcover. I do offer an upgrade thing. So if people want to change it, they can do it plus $10 because the hardcover will be about $10 more, along with a little bit more shipping. But I mean, if you can always change your pledge on Kickstarter where you can just change it to the hardcover. Either way, you're good.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So Demon Bitch has been around for a long time. It's kind of a staple in the Kickstarter community. So it's good to see you back. Welcome back.
Thank you. And we're also developing a game. So we're doing a beta test level of the game. So the thing is, if you kind of contribute a few bucks, I think it's like $5 to the level. It's like a digital reward, and it'll hopefully be out in July 2022, the beta version. So you can test the beta version. It should be on PC, I think. And then people can go and complain to my program about how much it sucks because it's Demon Bitch.
Nice. And what I love about your stuff too is Christy's very accommodating. So if there's something that you think you want, let her know.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. Like she'll make a new pledge level just for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there was a little upset because I talked to you about the technical thing so if you guys get the digital reward, but you want the physical, get the physical and then get the digital reward, because I put them all as add-ons.
Right.
So I'm sorry. That was like a little thing in Kickstarter. That was a little quirk Travis explained it, but it's like for the digital, you had to mark both digital and physical for it to add on to the physical. It was really weird, and I didn't know that. So, but end of story. If you guys ever want a custom one, message me. I will get to it ASAP. I usually get to it same day, and then I will message you. And the thing is that I have no problem making a custom reward because one of my friends, Denise, she will ask for a custom reward, and like I'll get 3 or 4 pledges as a result. And these are not tiny reward tiers. This is like $80 reward tiers.
Sure.
And stuff.
Nice.
So it's like I am totally accommodating because it's actually gotten me more fucking pledges to up it to my goal. So I love being accommodating.
The only thing I would recommend, Chrissy, that you when you go back into this page, add some of the actual physical pages. You like, I know it's a trade, so they've kind of on, but add 1 or 2 pages because I think people need to see your art and your style of storytelling.
I'll probably do that. I'll do that, and I'll do that if there's a lull like today, or when I'll do that probably in like later on tonight or something. I can.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing that it's missing. When I look at your campaign, because you make some great and funny pages. So I think if someone saw a couple pages, they're more likely to back, in my opinion.
Okay, yeah. Let me actually do that right now while I'm here, and just throw in a couple of pages because
it's always an oversight when you're doing the trade, right? So you think you're just preaching to your same audience. So you're like, hey,
right. So it's like, yeah, because there's a couple that I have that are pretty iconic. Like there's one where Shipbird's about to dive off the cliff and she's like, ha ha, this is what I'm doing. And all her friends are on the internet are like, do it, girl, go kill yourself, blah, blah, blah. And this person's sitting there like, what? The internet mob thing is never a really smart thing to fucking indulge.
So we are at 129 with 41 backers. So we need to get Demon Bitch a backer tonight and to increase that money. So I'd like to get her to 45 if we can.
That'd be lovely, guys.
42 is good, but 45 is better. So let's do that. And I'll bring my beast up, and then we'll talk about some other stuff and come back to these things.
Awesome. Thank you. I'll go
No
add
problem.
these guys onto there.
So I have a beast of a campaign. It has been going crazy, go nuts lately.
You always have great campaigns, dude.
Thank you. All right.
Yep, I got my hardcover backed for that one. So
nice.
Last time I got the soft cover, and I'm like, I should have got the hard. So this time I went straight for that.
So yeah, I am at $24,784 and $440.
Holy shit, dude!
So we are doing very, very well on Cthulhu Invades Wonderland. As you see, stealing other people's better ideas works. I highly recommend it. Seems to be working out very well for me and my crew. I'm actually going to check something real quick. Hold on. I think that we beat Cthulhu Invades Oz numbers. I got to check.
Ooh, nice.
Now, let me check. I knew it was coming close, but I think I may be able to announce it. It was close earlier today. All right, so no, not quite yet, but maybe at this program. So Cthulhu Invades Oz ended at $24,834 with 605 backers. So we're not going to hit the backer to get that count, but hopefully we can hit the money goals, which makes sense, right? When I'm selling both books,
Yeah. People are buying them both up in once if they missed it.
Congratulations, Vance. Hi to all the creators out there. Hey, man, thanks. I'm still far away from being funded. $5,000 is a lot of money. So I am.
You're really doing well, dude.
Yeah.
It's blowing up quick, which is a beautiful thing because I saw that first day. It's like, wow, it was just a monster in one day. So
yeah, it is.
On that.
It is the best we've ever done on anything, and it's killing it. We're working really hard on keeping it up there. I got 34 stories and 70 creators who are all sharing it, getting the word out there, making sure that we do stuff. We're working really hard to keep this in the zeitgeist every day,
Yeah.
So I think it's been good. My team has been doing very, very well. Danny said he's going to come on in a little bit, so we're going to let Danny come on, but we'll do that in just a little bit. But yeah, so my number is 24,784 with 440 backers. So this is, obviously this is my second best campaign right now, but is like $40 away from being my best campaign.
That's really nice.
Hey, Josh, how are you?
Hey, Josh.
Josh is
Josh.
good. He's leader at Red 5, so he's a good grader. Why do you think Cthulhu's so popular? I actually don't think Cthulhu's that popular. What I think is Cthulhu has a very strong fan base that doesn't get a lot of stuff or a lot of good stuff. So I don't think it's that it's Cthulhu. I just think it's a lack of things that he gets. So when someone sees something that they like of Cthulhu, they go all in and they go in heavy. Neff, hey, Orange Camp fam. I'm the only one representing Orange Code today. Today is Creator Hangouts. We're just hanging out and talking about books. Living the life. Good. I just had a customer ask me that. About Cthulhu? Yeah. Hopefully that answers the question. Kira, hello. Yeah, Danny, when you're ready to come on, we'll talk about that. I have your Kickstarter ready. We can talk about your Kickstarter. I'm also in that one, so we can talk about that in a little bit. So Charlie's about to jump into a show. Okay. All right. So first random question. So we're going to take a break. On hard selling, we're going to talk about some stuff. I had an interesting ordeal today. And a lot of people have it. And Christy and I have talked offline about some of these things. There is a certain point in an artist's trajectory where they feel that they earned something, right? Whether or not it's, a higher pay, whether or not it's that they deserve to be stuff. So I had, the story is I had in the last couple of days, people demanding to be put in updates and like being upset with me that I did not reply to their email. And most of these, any amount of backers does matter. So I'm not going to say the amount of backers, but we can assume that it's less than Cthulhu Invades Wonderland. I think that's a fair assessment without shutting anybody out. But these person demanded to be into my show, and even demanded a friend of mine that does a YouTube show, the same type of character, does a YouTube show, and was demanded that he gets a spot. Like he was like, I'm full up till May. He's like, Well, yeah, but I'm this. Why don't you put a special program for me? And I hear that a lot. A lot of people want the special treatment, like they want a special show or they want some extra stuff. What do you think about artists that do that? Because I don't think there's that many Karens in the world. Like I think Karens is a rare thing, but in artists, it's like 1 out of 10, right? Why do you guys think that is?
Personally, for me, when I see stuff like that, I think there's like artists are kind of generally taught to kind of be humble, which also can mean doormat, which is the other alternative of not very healthy. So they think in order to be more quote unquote assertive, they have to be nasty. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's just them being a general prick. That could be it too. But the thing is, honestly, when I've gotten cool things, all I did was have to ask and talk at that person's level. Not talk down, just talk at their level. Like I was given a list of people that most of which I never fucking talked to ever, heard about, but just never got around to talking. Not because I didn't care, but when you're an artist, you're in your own shell of like drawing shit and creating, right? Writers too. So for me, I just like, okay, I'm going to have to cold call. So I friended these people. Sometimes some of these people said, hey, my friend so-and-so referred me to this and this and this. Right. Would you can we go set up a show? I end on this one. Here's my Kickstarter. But I added a little thing, like one thing I don't like, what will turn me off about anybody's fucking campaign. Do not copy paste a long thing of shit to me. Talk to me like as a regular person.
Right. Sure.
I understand writing a bit long. Like I said, hey, I'm doing this Kickstarter, blah, blah, blah. It's going to end. Here's the Kickstarter if you want it. And I would put in a humorous note. By the way, I did not copy paste this. And it was so funny because one of the people, they said, oh yeah, we know this person. I said, oh, I know this person. And we went into the most crass fucking conversation ever, which was the most hilarious thing ever. And it just broke the ice. And it wasn't like crass as in bad. It was just like joking around. And he just said, hey, you'll fit in. Awesome. Because it was like, okay, we're trying to get this person in. She's a girl, but we can go and work with these other guys. I said, don't worry. I don't mind working with a sausage party. And they're like, they're like, damn, but they were laughing because it was just like, I've gotten that where guys have apologized to me ahead of time. And then they say like, oh, we're sorry. It's like a kind of like a sausage party. I'm like, I don't care. I can go talk to it and everything, but it says we artists are vain creatures, always eager for validation. Once we get it, might corrupt us.
Right.
See, that's the thing. I don't think that's always the case, but I do think that if you already have that character flaw of you're not good enough, any form of validation can either make you hungry for more in a very unhealthy way, like, oh, I want more, so I'm constantly people pleasing, or I'm just going to be an arrogant bitch and just be a total dick to everybody, and that's how I'm entitled to. It's like, look, if I have somebody that actually is very disrespectful to me, I've had people do this, and yes, as I work through things and level up in my thing, there are times where I've been handled, or somebody did come at me disrespectfully, but it's like obviously disrespectfully, like, I'm not doing this for you because you did this, and like going, who do you think you are?
Right.
It's
Exactly.
more of like, you're just rude because you're being rude to me. It's not, do you know who I am? It's more of like, who the fuck do you think you are? Like that type of thing. And it's like when you build, it's kind of a weird thing because when you actually have more self-respect and more self-esteem, because you realize, wow, I can do all the things, and that's more genuine and that's more solid, and you're not going to act like an asshole, believe me. But when people come at you, it's like, who the fuck do you think you are? You are talking to me. But it's more self-respect for you as a person. Like if a person comes up to you and starts clowning, it's like, your artwork always fucking sucked and I never liked you and everything.
Right.
Who the fuck do you think you are? Who's on the other side of the table? Fuck off. Like, you just don't care about them. They're not going to buy stuff from you. They're not going to respect you. So just go away. Yeah. It's one thing if they came up to you and said, I'm not really a fan of your work, and I don't really like it, but the story's good or something like that I don't get mad about, but if they come at you rude, I think that rudeness should be met with a certain level of rudeness, or you're just shutting them off. Like, no, you don't get to do that. And that would be the same vice versa. Like, what if you were rude to a customer? They have every right to fucking tell you, who the fuck do you think you are?
Sure.
Like, it's just, it goes both ways.
I agree. So, do you have a comment, Ed? And we got people waiting, so I got to get them in.
Sure.
Yeah, I haven't had people come and demand to get in. I think I'm too small for that. But I don't understand that mentality because, like you said in your post, no one's entitled to anything.
Right.
And you don't come in and be like, okay, this is a good campaign. I need a piece of this because, I just, that whole mentality is odd to me. And I've been fortunate that I haven't really hacked by anybody. So I guess I haven't been in the game long enough because people will always find
you haven't got enemies yet.
Come out,
keep working.
Yeah. So I've had people be rude at a con, and just like someone's like, I can't believe you're writing that kind of violence. And one of my favorite interactions was getting yelled at by an old lady. She's like, you need to clean that filth up. I'm like, this is the highlight of all cons I've ever done. Because I'm like, yes, this book is not for your grandparents. So now it's like, all right, I can put a disclaimer on the title, but that's about the worst I faced. And I was able to let that off. So fortunate, but I just don't understand the mentality of going in people's inbox. And I do get that shit all the time. Like, hey, come here, check out my campaign. And I've never I've never spoken to this person in my life. And here they are saying, back my campaign without ever speaking to me first. And I'm like, wait, I got one too. So it's like, you're picking the wrong time. So and then I'll tell them, hey, we'll back each other if you want to do it that way. And they're like, oh, no, I didn't know you had a campaign. It's like, then you don't know shit about me. So how about pay attention before you start blowing up my inbox?
Sure.
Yeah, you can always ask.
People clean things up. Austin Janowski can clean things up with his Snowman comic.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, snow is nice and bright and white, and it's.
And we got Danny from the collective. Also,
Dan.
very clean store, very appropriate. You're not allowed to say bad things. I sometimes do, and I always get the stern look.
The stern look. We're gonna put you in a corner. We put Travis in the corner.
And
The electric crayon.
What? This is a clean stream. Oh man, I better go.
Hey,
what's up?
Danny. Hey, Danny, what's up?
Hey, how are you doing, Chrissy?
Hi,
So
guys.
for our
Off
creators
the head.
hangout, so what we do on this particular show is we try to get you backers. That's our goal.
Okay.
We're going to also talk about the industry a little bit and hang out and do stuff. Hopefully use anybody who sees me and likes to hear my voice. Hopefully they will like your stuff too. So I introduce people to your stuff and hopefully that'll work out. So make sure you share it, all that. We're going to go over everyone's campaign. Phil, you're just on my campaign, right?
Yeah, well, that and Kaiju Mania will be coming up.
Right. Nothing live though.
Yeah.
Except for mine. Okay. So let's start with Danny, because Danny was here longer, even though I brought in Austin. Because the joke was better. Bringing in Austin first was a better joke than bringing Danny in first.
Yes.
So Danny and I have a book together. Danny, will you talk about it for a minute? I'll bring it up and we'll show it. We'll try to get us some backers because we need some backers. We haven't had a backer today, and it's sad.
We didn't have a backer today, but we announced a stretch goal today because we're doing a magnet. But so Tales from the Collective Initiative 2022 is it's our second volume. I actually just realized that we went with volume 2 for the picture that is actually on the Kickstarter.
Yeah, I did that on purpose.
Oh, okay. So, but yeah, it's our second version of this. The first one was a collaboration of 4 independent creators plus one of our employees at the store. And that included Travis Gibb, who's right here with us, Jonathan Hedrick from Scout Comics, who was doing Capable for us, Wendy, who had her story in there, it's about to go live this year. And then we also had David Galliano in that one. And then Travis was able to put together very quickly, surprisingly to me, a second volume with some phenomenal teams. 3 of them local, since Heather is, his wife and lives with him. And then Black Sam is actually one of the most surprising, the indie comic that really left me wondering, how is this not a Top Cow or a Boom Comics comic book? It was really just that good. So that's in our book, and it's essentially Ashcan stories. You get the 5 Ashcan stories of these books, and this is sometimes before any of these stories are put out there. In the case of Pup Van Winkle, which is Heather Gibbs' story, or what's the other one? Black Sam. Those haven't been published at all yet, so we're excited for those.
Well, and the other ones, what I said, Cosmic Legacy and Baron are prequels, kind of.
Yeah, they're those are 0 issues, pretty much, from my understanding of the way both of those creators worked on theirs.
I saw some 47 Furious, man.
47 Furious Tales is in there, which is something our customers are already super familiar with. And I wanted to use this as an opportunity to give them a little bit something more while they waited for issue 3, which will be in 2 months. And then I wanted to also introduce new customers to this book in a way that the collective could be doing it themselves, because we always have issues 1 and 2 in the store. And I was like, you know what? People sometimes are hesitant. Let me provide them something that's a package deal, and then they hopefully find 47 Furious Tales to be a suit. The idea is they find any of these to be interesting, and then they want to go and add the series to subscription, which I tell Travis and all these guys, that's the coolest thing that happens when somebody goes, yo, can you add Voodoo Nations to my subscription? Or can you add Zombies We're Human 2 to my subscription? That's such a cool thing, because you have to then tell them so it's not going to be monthly, it'll be we'll see what we could do. And yes, I will put you down. But that happens. So that's really cool.
Yeah. It's a really cool book. We love putting them out, and we're happy to be funded, but we really need some extra support for the community. So back it, show us some love. The Collective is a great store for the community. You had a Cthulhu story before I move on to Austin. What's your Cthulhu story?
So the kid, because I was like, he was buying Snow White Zombie Apocalypse 2 with the Cthulhu cover. And I was like, we have Cthulhu Invades Oz as well. And he's like, yeah, I think I'm going to pick that up next time. And so I was like, you a big Cthulhu fan? And he's like, yeah, but I don't really know anything about it. And I'm like, I was kind of taken aback, because in nerd culture, it's all you either know Cthulhu or you don't.
Right.
And he's just and I'm like, well, what is it about it that you like? He goes, well, first of all, it's just I wonder why so many people like it. And I want to look into it. And it's I literally think that's the thing about Cthulhu, and especially I say this in a positive way, but nerdism or whatever, you want to know why other people are geeking out about it. So you're intrigued. And I think Cthulhu is just mysterious enough where not everybody knows about it, but everybody knows of it.
Yeah, sorry, we have a mystery coat. We have another person, but it's just a coat.
It's just a goat, dude. That's a
I
goat.
want to. Oh, he's a full person. All right, all right.
He
We'll
is.
talk to you. Hey, Charles, how are you?
Good, how you doing, man?
Hey,
Sorry
Charles.
about that. I'm just trying to prepare for the next show, so I'm cleaning off my.
Yeah, I
table.
thought you had a show. Like, why
Yeah,
are
I
you
had
here?
a show last weekend, so my room is a mess right now because I had to do all the packing and get everything prepared. I've got a live Kickstarter right now, working a full-time job, and then I haven't had a day off in like 4 months. So
I hear you, man. I hear you.
it's
Well,
a
the next
grind.
up on our Kickstarter tour is a little Christmas wonder. We've got Stanley the Snowman here, and we're going to talk to Austin about his Marvel career. Maybe we'll talk to him about his books at Second Sight, his books at Scout. I mean, he really just kills it everywhere. So go ahead and tell us about Stanley, Austin.
Sure. So Stanley the Snowman's an all-age holiday series I came up with that originally first was a Kickstarter that we successfully did last year, and then Scout picked it up, and we were very excited by that part of their all-age line, Scoot. So the idea was to do the first 24 pages as a comic book and then do the graphic novel later on in the year. Unfortunately, paper shortages and the pandemic kind of really slowed things down, so they put it on hold. But I didn't want everyone to wait. So we came up with the Kickstarter for the next 24 or so pages of the actual story. So that's what this Kickstarter is about. It's Stanley is about Jenny, really. Jenny loves her family, a bit of a loner, but she has this magical ability to bring Stanley the Snowman to life every holiday season. One in a generation has that ability by adding something to Stanley. And when Stanley's awake, he has all the family's history, and he holds the holiday spirit.
Nice. It's a cool book. And what's cool about it is if you get this version, right, this version won't have the Scout trade dress. So it technically makes it more rarer, correct?
Right. So for no one who's actually picked it up, you can get one. You can't get the Scout copies, but this is actually specifically for this Kickstarter only.
Nice.
So this makes it more of a collectible. We've got 3 cool covers. One is by series artist Juan Pablo. That's the main cover. The second one is, that's the main one.
Okay.
I love that one. This is a retro cover. I had an artist, Casey Moyer. She was came out of SCAD. Great. It was one of those things where she was new. I was trying to figure things out. It didn't quite work out, but this is the retro cover that I did the inking and finishing the coloring. So that's the one. And then we also have a third one, which is the throwback to Home Alone, Christmas movie. And this was done by Made by Nate Johnson. He does a lot of the covers for Scouts, for Comics Town 101. So,
And Source Point. He does probably equal as many Source Point as he does Scout.
Yeah.
Basically any homage for a cartoon he does.
Yeah, he's crushing it. So so that's kind of it. And we've got, for those that love the comic books and just want to read, we've got catch every reward tiers. We've got add-ons for the collectors. We've got the sketch covers. We've got the metal covers. We've got get all the comics. You can get just some of the comics. So there's a lot of different things. This book is made specifically for the whole family to read together. It's something that the adult can read with their child, or the child can read to the adult, depending on what you want to do. And $100. So we're about halfway. We got about 14 days. We could use some love, a little bit of push to try to get close. We got some cool stretch goals. We have a really neat postcard that we're going to be coming out right at about 5,000. If we get to 6,000, each and every backer will get the coloring book cover of issue number 1 that came out through Scout.
Nice. So let's write down your number so everyone knows you're at 2,031. No, you just went up.
There you go.
You
Yay.
just went up since last I was here. You
Nice.
went
2041. So there you go.
all right, so you went up a backer. My job here is done, gentlemen. Everyone, we're done. Thank you.
Okay.
Nice.
So I've been lucky enough to do comics since 1994. Mostly as an inker. That's kind of how I wanted to get started with it. But when I got hired for my first job with Allied Comics, I was supposed to ink Cosmic Force, and I kind of fell by the wayside. But I came up with a cool comic book idea about my D&D characters called Seventh Millennium. So we published the first issue through Diamond and Capital, and we had enough to make a profit, and that's kind of how I got into the indie market. But I've been lucky to work on Iron Man, X-Men for Marvel, stuff for Image and Dynamite, and a bunch of others. Right. So I jumped in, Ed, and, about people being mean to you and saying weird, bad things, whatever. And from my experience, there's a lot of people that hate what you're doing because they want to do what you're doing. That's the bottom line. Yeah, I mean, you want to shut down people that are rude to you, and you don't want to, especially at conventions and whatnot. But giving a lot of that energy back to them is just enforcing because they want that chaotic, because they're unhappy because of whatever they weren't able to accomplish. You know what I mean? And bottom line is with comic books, I'm the one at fault on that when things don't exactly go my way, because being a creative person, you're like, oh, I want the validation. But you did this because you loved it. You loved the medium. You know what I mean? You liked making comic books. That's the whole point. Making money was kind of like the secondary aspect of it. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do now. I spend way too much time trying to make it and not focusing on the journey.
Sure.
And so now I'm just trying to enjoy the journey and work with really cool people. I'm so happy with Travis because I met him. We met at MegaCon, right?
Yeah, a couple years ago.
Was it your first book or your second?
I think it was my second issue, but yeah.
Yeah, you're just starting out, and the fact that you're just exploding how you're exploding, dude, is tremendous. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
One question from Wendy before we move on.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
I pledge for the physical number 2. Yeah, in the add-on section, Wendy, there's pretty much everything you can add that's in the rewards. It's in the add-ons. You can mix and match and get pretty much everything that you want.
All right, cool. Well, can we, Charles, you got to go for a second? Do you want me to skip
no, I'm just cleaning up. So if you guys see me moving around, it's because I'm cleaning up.
Okay. So tell us, I don't know you. So I don't know Charles. He's the only person on this thing that I don't know very well. So Charles, who are you? What are you? What's going on?
I'm really still new. I'm still pretty new to the industry.
Okay.
I've been putting my series together. It's called Essence Destiny of 12 Warriors. Here's actually a metal print that we actually got.
Nice.
That's pretty fire, man.
We just got that. That's for the front cover for Volume 2.
Nice.
And then I also got the comic book. So am I okay to talk about it for a minute?
Yeah. So give me 1 second before you get to that. So what
I
we do on
don't
the
want to
show,
get in front of anybody.
So what we do on this show before we start is I write down your stuff because I want you to get backers. I want you to get support. So we mark where you're at, and we're going to check in on it throughout the show as we do stuff, as we hang out. I know you're going to jump to another show. You're in California, I assume, right?
I am from Washington, but because I wanted to join the show because this is a good opportunity to at least network and show up. And
sure,
be like,
yeah.
I am.
But you got to leave in 6 minutes? Is that what I'm hearing?
So it's at 8:30. I messaged him on Facebook, so I think I should be okay. He has
for a little bit. Okay, no. All right, so I wrote it down here: $3,299 and 58 backers. So yeah, go ahead and tell us about Volume 2 of Essence of the 12 Warriors.
So I'll just go into a little bit about the series as a whole. So Essence Destiny of 12 Warriors basically focuses on 12 kids that gain their powers from those little spirit guys. And the whole series focuses on heroes that share abilities with each other. And the abilities of each character are a lot more extreme than what you typically see in things like Naruto and other series. So I use Conrad as kind of like an example of what a hero is in my story. So his ability is perception. He perceives size, which lets him break his body into particles or rearrange the atoms in his body to become any element that he wants. He can perceive any ability that he wants just by interacting with the character. And then he can perceive distance, which lets him get a view of everything around him. And then he can expand that by using more power. So if a character like his friend Malik gives him his ability, which he has more essence than other characters, he can actually increase that field of vision by a significant amount. It gets a lot more complicated than that, but the series as a whole, you can even play the video trailer if you like.
Is the sound, I don't want to get hit by YouTube, is it all yours?
It is. That one I think is uploaded. It's what do you call it?
Free source, open source.
Open source.
Okay.
Source.
So the top one or this one?
The top one. Yeah, it's from free. I can't remember.
You're good. I'm
Royalty-
just gonna trust you.
royalty
You're
free.
good. You're good.
So this is what we did. This is what we did for volume, but we never got to show it off just because it got here late. So we ended up doing it for this one because I'm working with the Disney animator right now and a college professor from the University of Utah on a short animation, like an actual animation. So we're trying to get people used to the idea of this being.
Charles, who's the artist?
His name is Irfan Jafar. He did the artwork, and then Alex Tripp is the one that helped put this video together.
Wow, nice.
That's a great video, man.
Yeah, that's great.
That's a good video.
So, I never want to sound egotistical, but can I give you one piece of advice, my good sir?
What's up?
This is the best advice that I can possibly give you, and it will change your whole campaign. Change it to volume 1 and 2.
Oh, it has volume 1 and 2 in it.
No, but put it on the header, so because people read the headers when they're through
okay.
Kickstarter. When they see a volume 2, they're probably not going to back it because they don't think that volume 1's available. They think they missed out.
Okay.
It's just a quick fix, and you're good to go. But it makes a huge difference.
Am I able to actually do that right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Just go in the
Okay.
back and do it.
I'll do that in a minute.
Yeah, I think you gave me that same advice when I had issue 3 running in my series, and I just said number 3, and you said, "Oh, put 1, 2, and 3," and it did help for sure.
Yeah, all those things help. Like I noticed on Christy, again, I'm just spouting out here, Christy, you haven't done updates on your old campaigns to let you know that you're live.
Oh no, I did.
I
did.
I just looked at one and I didn't see it because I looked at it, but when we started,
Which one was it? Because like I did the one prior to that.
I don't know. I
He's
just looked
he's
at
done
one.
too many, so.
Do them all. Do them all.
I did.
You missed
Okay,
one.
I'll do them. I'll do them. I just don't know what's going on because like I did do it on the last one that I did. I did put up an update. Weird.
Yeah, the last
Okay.
update I saw was in June. But yeah, so go ahead. But that's my only advice. And again, it makes a big difference.
Oh,
Because
I also need to put like the page. We're working on we're going to add page count because page count counts too because you don't want to charge $20 for something that people think might be only a 22 page.
sure,
when
yeah.
it's
But
72.
it's clear in all your things. Hey, you can get volume 1. You show it right at the top. You can get volume 1. So I think that's a big deal, and that'll help. And it shows. The other thing it shows for people is nice. When he says nice looking campaign, it shows that you've already done the work, right? You've already done it once. You're more than likely to do it the second time. Just builds trust.
Yeah, and then when I do volume 3, I'll put 1 through 3.
Correct. Yeah. That's all you got to do. How big are they? Just since we're talking about that.
So volume 1 is 112 pages. It looks.
Oh, I can't show you that. Sorry, hold on. I gotta stop sharing here. Oh, okay.
There I am. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll make it big.
Okay. This sucks being on your phone when you do this stuff.
Oh, nice.
So, but yeah, that's volume 1. Volume 2 will be about 72 pages. I actually had to split it up because volume 2 was going to be 150 pages, and I didn't want it to be too large because then it just increases the cost to actually print it, and
Right.
you want to keep people engaged with spending small amount of money rather than do all that. And plus, volume 3 is going to end up being, because I did it that way, it's going to end up being nothing but fighting for the entire volume.
Mhm.
So it kind of gives that like, oh no, we know something bad is about to happen, but he just left us at a cliffhanger. So it gets people to push into volume 3.
Yeah, no, it looks good. It looks good. Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna move over to EB real quick. We'll get back to you and we'll talk about it. But
Oh, yeah.
you're at,
I'll have to get going. But if you guys just send me links to the Kickstarters, as you guys talk about them, since I won't be in the room, just I'll support.
Well-
I can't guarantee like a lot of money because I can't do everybody, but If it comes down to it, I'll at least give $1 to kind of give a support,
Sure.
show people that I'm there. So
And guys, that's if you're in the March 2022, just make sure you. I know a lot of you guys are in it, and the crowdfunding. Just go ahead and post your link.
All right.
And Charles, see you. Thank you.
yeah, thanks. You guys have a good one.
Charles, thanks, man.
Thanks, Charles. Thanks for showing us,
Thanks.
man.
See you, dude.
Bye.
So, EB,
Huh.
who
Hello.
the hell are you, and why are all my friends backing your Shockhead Pete book? I have no idea who you are, but everyone who I like seems to like you.
I don't know who I am, man. I ask myself that all the time. Who am I?
Right.
Constantly on the search. Just a man, Travis.
Just a man.
Just a man who has no clue what he's doing in life.
Right.
So I will say that I wrote this thing with my wife, who is on a work call right now, so she couldn't join us, but I wanted to jump in anyways. So if the door bursts open, that's who it is.
So this little thing right here, this beautifully animated thing,
oh yes, this thing. Which,
project we love, which they tell you not to put that, but you just did it anyways. You didn't give an F.
yeah, no, flaunt that crap. Why not? They
Yeah.
tell you, they send you an email with it, and it's all flashing.
Right.
Right. So it's so shiny. How can
Right.
you not put it up there?
Someday I will have one.
Right.
So this, I mean, I'll be honest. This is all very new to me and my wife. We're just becoming acquainted with the comics and graphics novel world, working in the comics and graphics novel world, I should say, because we come from the film and TV world, and we never really thought our ideas could translate until we kind of had a couple of friends in our circles always gnawing at us, and we had this idea, this horror fantasy, dark and twisted fairy tale that we just kind of wanted to come to life, and a graphic novel was like the perfect medium to give birth to this thing, just because we needed to tell this story.
Right.
And so, we had a couple of people direct us where to look for artists, and we found an amazing artist, this Italian Giuseppe Save di Stefano. That was his character right there. And he stepped it up, really. I mean, he did everything. He did inks, pencils, color,
Right.
and letters. His color was fantastic. He also works in animation in Rome, so I think that kind of helped a little bit. We just loved the style because it gave this fun feel to this dark horror fairy tale. So essentially, the whole story is it's a cautionary tale about the harbinger of punishment who comes to town and the teenage girl who is disturbed by her desire to join his crusade. In a nutshell. And that teenage girl is a girl with an actual literal broken heart. She has to wear a monitor on her wrist because, to tell her if her heart's beating too fast, and she has to cool it. So it's kind of, we're all seeing it through the eyes of this girl named Ruby, the character of Shockheaded Peter, which actually came from a really dark 19th century macabre children's tale, which was just 10 short stories, 10 German short stories, really like that, yeah. And I just made it even more grotesque by animating the fire. Yeah, like I said, a little twisted. So this guy, Dr. Heinrich Hoffman, wrote these 10 stories about teaching his children to become better people, or, don't, hit the dog because then they'll kill you, or don't play with matches or you'll burn alive, sort of thing. So we kind of snatched one character, Shockheaded Peter, or he's named Struwwelpeter in German, and we built this whole mythology around his character through the eyes of this girl, Ruby. So we kind of reimagined the story because none of this is at all in the book.
Sure.
So kind of Peter became a boogeyman, a Freddy Krueger mixed with a Willy Wonka.
Yeah, I love this Freddy Krueger homage.
Yeah, that's actually one of our favorite covers. That was kind of awesome. We got these 2 Ringo Award nominated artists. My friend Rylan Grant worked with them, and he introduced us to them, and they just knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this whole experience has been kind of amazing from a writer creator standpoint. I have to say the whole community has been freaking awesome. And you know, like I'm trying to read as much as I can and back as much as I can.
Sure.
But yeah, and I appreciate all the support we've had. It's been kind of crazy, you know, setting up for the Kickstarter and doing a lot.
You launched yesterday, right?
Yeah, we launched yesterday. Yeah,
Wow.
yesterday morning.
And this is your first campaign, which is the second. You created, what
Well,
else did you create?
10 years ago, my wife and I did a short film, and so we were raising funds for like sound, and so this is like a totally different thing. And 10 years ago, Kickstarter was not at all
Right, sure. It's almost like you didn't.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, that should be stricken from the record.
Right.
But yeah, this was a very exhausting but rewarding experience that we're just kind of starting. But yeah, and we're excited. It's supposed to be. This is just part 1. I mean, if we could have, we would have done a whole 150-page graphic novel, but the funds were elusive, so hence we're breaking it up into 3 parts. So this is part 1.
I mean, I think it's for someone's first book to have that quality art and stuff. It's unfair. As a lot of us have done it, it's just unfair.
I mean,
That is a beautiful book.
if I drew, it'd be freaking stick figures, man.
Right.
I can't. But yeah, like I said, the artist that we found, we lucked out. And he hadn't done much. He did like a short story for Scout, and we knew someone at Scout, so we reached out and kind of vetted just to make sure, because you're working across the seas. You want to make sure that your artist isn't going to just ghost you, with half your pages done. Because I'd heard that a lot, and we were kind of constantly nervous.
Right.
We were like, can we do video calls just to check? Because we come from we like face-to-face, my wife and I. So we would do that check-in, and the first call we were on, we're like, oh, this dude's golden. He's excited. He's awesome. So yeah, like I said, we lucked out.
No, it's amazing. It's amazing. So I got you when we started it was $4,827 and 71 backers. So we'll see. We'll check in with you a little bit later to see if that's increased. I'm sure it's going to.
So
I know I haven't backed it yet, and you've got my back.
Yeah, and I
just backed it right now, actually.
Oh, thank you. That's awesome.
I'm gonna go ahead and just back like the digital real quick. But when you get your numbers crunched and everything at the end, if you can offer like even like 5 copies at like any type of retailer level, we'd love to grab some and carry them in the store. I know you got to make your money on the Kickstarter and everything, but dude,
it's funny.
While I was in there, it looks awesome.
I was actually gonna do that. We got put in touch with someone with what is it, Pulp Fiction Comics in Culver City, about the possibility of doing something like that. So I was thinking about doing anywhere between like a 5-issue or a 10-issue retail bundle.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you're doing square bound or perfect bound at that page count is amazing. Like that was the first eye opener I saw. I'm like, 52 pages and perfect bound. Like, it looks like you're not skimping on quality either. So
if it was saddle stitched, it would kind of look like some monster, I feel, and just it wouldn't. And
dude, Marvel does it with bigger books, and I see it's tough. It's not good.
I'll be honest, like I said, my friend Rylan Grant, who did books like The Peacekeepers and The Jump and Banjax, it was his book, The Peacekeepers, that he did it like that. And I'm like, oh, this is the way we need to go. But yeah. I mean, if you want, and should I just message you on Kickstarter if we decide to offer that tier?
Yeah.
Rock on.
Sure. Yeah. Awesome. See, making connections. That's what this show is all about, Creator Hangout. So everyone has had a chance to talk about their book. We got to introduce Phil because Phil hasn't. That's why Phil's center square. He's just like, I'm just a man of the people.
I was actually going to contribute. There is another new creator out there, man, that could really use some promotion. If it's cool with you, I could bring him over, man.
Who is it?
Gage the Wolf.
I just felt like I was being like set up, so I wanted to make
No,
sure.
not from me, dude. You know that.
Cruncho the Clown, dude.
Is it Kickstarter, Indiegogo? What is it?
It's a Kickstarter. Really good looking stuff, man.
All right, yeah, send them to me, and we'll get them on.
All right, cool.
The electric.
But yeah, all right. So since we're in a break, everybody's pitched their stuff. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 campaigns going on right now. Not counting Charlie's, which is behind the scenes. So I'm going to ask a question, everybody. Christy, I have to look. Well, actually, let me see. Yes, I got it. Project update 68. Yes.
Okay, cool. I just wasn't sure because I did the other one for the one prior to this,
Right.
but you said you didn't receive it, so I'm like, so I went to the older one and I did an update just in case.
Yeah, I think you should do them all. I always do it if it's the same category of books. So once you've had a couple of books out, I do it to all of them, because it's whatever. And I actually do it to all of my books, but when I'm doing it to, like, let's say Broke Down and 4 Dead Bodies, I have something I need to say to them, right? I'll be like, hey, here's a couple pages from the trade paperback that's coming out. When I go to Voodoo, I'm like, here are some Voodoo pages that we have for, like, I find a reason to talk to them and not just go, hey, I got some shit that you don't even know about. Let's go talk about this.
Right.
I kind of ease them in, seduce them a little bit.
Travis, what you're saying is for my zombie people, I should just say, so I got a cute snowman book. I'm sure you guys are going to love it.
Right.
There's no blood involved. No, I should try to leave it a little bit easier than that.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're working on volume 3. Maybe talk about volume 3 and who you've got on. Maybe make an announcement and go, hey, I really need help in my Kickstarter. Here it is. And be honest. Like, what's great about your backers is it's okay to be honest to them because they already trust you. You've already sent them the product. So being vulnerable and honest to them is really good. It's not good to go vulnerable and honest like on a live stream. I've had people cry on it and be like, I'm never going to make it. And I'm like counseling them when I'm trying to do a show. You don't want to do that. Not that I think you would, but you could. You're an actor. So I wouldn't even know if you're telling the truth or lying to me, Austin.
And see.
All right. We got Nathan Jones here with Gage the Wolf. Nathan, who are you? I don't know you. Phil likes you. That is not a glowing recommendation, but we'll go with it.
I'm Nathan Johns. I'm the creator of Godslayers on Kickstarter right now.
Okay. All right.
And it is my very first Kickstarter, my first comic book.
Congrats.
All right. Let's
Thank you.
Give it a quick look and see what we've got here. Godslayers episode 1. Is that it?
Yep, Waking the Godslayer.
All right. Let's just check it out.
Gage, everybody, Gage.
Nice to meet everybody. Sorry I don't have my face on the screen, but I haven't slept since 5 o'clock yesterday morning. You don't want to see that.
That's harsh, dude.
Hold on. Why is it Wendy Gale does Judgment but coming out on Kickstarter? True that.
Come on, Wendy. Come on up here.
All right. Let's see. Let's get this party started. Godslayers episode 1 by Nathan Jones. Look at this. Look at this beauty right there.
Ooh.
So tell us about this person who slays the gods.
Okay.
In short skirts.
So the story is actually a group of heroes who are off to resurrect the Godslayer who was killed years ago because he's the only one that can wield a weapon that can be used to kill the demon who's oppressing the world of Athenea now. And so they're raiding the tomb of the Godslayer to get his body.
Okay.
And the story is that the Godslayer slew 8 of the 9 gods of the world of Athenea years ago using the Godslayer's sword, and they need that weapon. And he's the only one that can wield it.
Nice. And I see you're a White Wolf runner. What do you run? Which one? Vampire?
Oh, man.
Mage, Changeling. What do you got?
Yes.
Are you one of these crazy Promethean guys? What do you got?
So So I haven't gotten to run Promethean. I'm not a big fan of the newer stuff. Scion, Promethean. I wasn't really a big fan of the system. But third edition, Vampire the Masquerade. I've done Werewolf. I've done Mage. I play Changeling right now on Sundays.
Sure.
Sundays is a sacred day. That's gaming day. So
I run a vampire game on Sunday nights. So
yeah. So we run from noon to anywhere between 6 and 8, depending on how into it my players are, every Sunday.
Nice.
So, and I've been doing that for 12, 15 years now.
You're excited. Nathan got when I talked about White Wolf. Like more excited, I think, than the campaign. Like he was just like, "There's a White Wolf player." He's talking.
God, I remember when I played Werewolf. One of the things is like we were caught in a jail, and you know how you can go into the Umbra through a reflective.
Sure.
Cool. So they said, well, there's no mirror. The guy just laughs at you. What are you going to do? I said, oh, piss on the floor. See if you can go through the Umbra that way. Didn't quite work, but it was thinking outside the box.
That is thinking outside the box. All right. So you've got, where are we at? Are we funded or do we need more monies? What are we going on?
We are funded as of today.
Nice. Right.
Nice.
Hey.
So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I'm looking forward to fulfillment and getting started on Godslayers episode 2.
Nice.
And
is this done?
Godslayers episode 1, it's done. It's paid for. We're just now getting the covers prepped for printing, but otherwise, all the money from the Kickstarter is going to fulfillment and printing, and then to pay my artist Mario A. Barraza to come back and do Godslayers episode 2. So
that's awesome. That's what I like to hear. I love campaigns that are finished.
Yeah, I went into it. So we started in September, and I got a bug and was like, I'm gonna make a comic. And in February, we finished the last pages, and we're starting on final edits. And I just jumped in head first and created a Kickstarter. And then I have some good friends in the indie culture who I've talked to, Phil for one, and
Give you a little guidance.
and my original Kickstarter was not this pretty.
Right.
So they had a chat with me, and I went back and I hope I did them proud, and with this one, and I just jumped in headlong, man. I'm still learning to promote. I'm still learning what shows there are to get on to promote. And
sure.
It's been a blast though. Like everyone I've met in the indie culture is so great. They're so positive, and it's just been so much fun so far.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The book looks great. It looks like a lot of fun. I love fellow White Wolf players, so I love it. What's your favorite? You never told me so Vampire's your favorite since that's
I would say Changeling's probably my favorite.
All right. Well, it's okay to be wrong.
So I did. So take into account though, when I was 19 years old, my wife and we had no money. We had a kid on the way, no TV, no entertainment. And so Vampire the Masquerade was our meat and drink. And I would literally come home from work and run Vampire from the moment I sat down coming home from work until the moment I went to bed every day. And so I can't do Vampire anymore at all. I've told every Vampire story I've got. Leave me alone.
You're all Vampire now. You didn't even get the computer game back in the day?
Oh, yeah. Bloodlines?
Bloodlines, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite's actually Werewolf. It's not Vampire. And Changeling, I prefer this. It probably blasphemy to you, but I actually prefer the new one. Prefer the old one.
So when I run Changeling, I run it. We run in the Dreaming. We run an Arcadian D&D style game. So we don't play like we play that they can cross into the waking world and do stuff there. But my players like to play a D&D style, like fantasy adventure with just the Changeling kith, and so that's what we run.
Sure, yeah, that's cool. All right, so we are done. Now we have all the campaigns. We have 8 campaigns that are going on. So we're going to talk a little Creator Hangout. Does anybody need to wrap up or do something? Because it is 11:30.
I need to actually wrap up because I need to make dinner for the kids.
Damn it, Ed. Well, let's see if you've
know.
made any money since we've stuff. Let's see if anybody has loved you since we've started this. I think people have loved you, and I've loved you for a long time. You're one of my favorite creators. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so proud that we're going to be partnering together and some stuff's coming up. That
Oh yeah, I can't wait. That's exciting to me.
So, and I mean to post more, but I've been crazy. So Ed, we started out at $3,888. We're at 123. So we've got you 2 backers.
Awesome.
2 backers, and we got you to 3. So now you only need to get 75 more for my goal of yours for 200. So
yeah, now I gotta get to work again and get back to begging for backers, which is what we do for a whole month.
If you could beat me, that would be great. I'm at 440. So if you could just get up there.
Oh yeah,
by the end of the
I'll
week,
do my best.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Anything else you want to say about this before you take off and feed those kids?
No, I just go ahead and check it out. If you like good post-apocalyptic stories with lots of blood that offend grandmas everywhere, this is the story for you. So please check it out. And yeah.
Nathan, I can help you with this one. You remember that old White Wolf kit for Highlander that you found on the internet in 2000?
Yes.
That's what this is about. Everyone who's ever a White Wolf player knows about that one thing.
Well, there can be only one, you know.
Right, exactly. This is about immortals.
Yeah, everybody's immortal, but they do not love their immortality, so they're trying to save humanity by killing them.
I mean, basically that's Highlander. Just the later seasons, they tried to kill anything that was good about it. It's the same thing.
I'll try not to ruin it like Highlander did.
All right, I appreciate you, Ed. Thanks for coming.
All right, thanks so much for having me on.
See you, Ed.
So quick question before we started stuff. I got to ask Danny a question unrelated to everything. It's actually business. Do I have to still make that thing color?
Dude, I have no idea. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay.
We were making coasters, and every design we went with came out really bad in the proofs. Okay. So I was like, "Oh, let's see." And then we never gave them a reply to the last proof.
Right. So you need me to make your coaster so you can set it to sticker mule. Gotcha. I'll do it tomorrow. All right. Gotcha.
Bro, the coaster deal is just so good. I was like, I need 50 coasters.
I feel you. I got more Voodoo Nations coasters coming.
Wendy, there you go.
Since you're here, in my office, I only use a Bial coaster. I keep all my Voodoo Nations one in the living room, for guests. But in my office, I got Bial. That's for Wendy. So, you guys are already Kickstarter, and we're in the middle of a huge gas hike. Reasons for whatever. We have war going on. We're always complaining about something, whether it be emails, riots, whatever. But how a lot of people also feel that Kickstarter has been hindering their campaigns from getting the full exposure. I know we've got people coming towards the end of the campaign's middle. What do you feel is the best thing to reach out when you're in the lull and you're struggling? So I'd love to hear some stuff, and I'll give you guys some feedback on my end. What have you guys trying, or what do you plan to try to get things up? Wendy, gas went down 10 cents here yesterday. Wendy, I'm building a narrative.
Doing a shtick.
Counter my narrative. Wendy's like, everything's fine. It's now, $3.90. Great.
So I'm learning to promote. I'm gonna take notes on this.
Sure. Christy, you've done this a little bit, and you haven't talked in a bit. What do you do? What do you do when it gets tough?
When it gets tough, you kind of the idea of Kickstarter, how you mentally prepare for it. I do 45 days. I know I'm going to do 45 days because I've got cons, I've got stuff I got to deal with.
Right.
I cannot go and be down to the wire and be this stressed for 21 days. It's not that I don't think I can. It's just I have to have a life. Okay, so you got to plan for having a life and accommodate it. You just got to be realistic. Number 2, you have to view Kickstarter as kind of a marathon. It is not a sprint. Very rarely it's a sprint. I mean, sometimes you like, I would say Image or whatever, they run a Kickstarter, they're going to be funded in like a matter of days, and they're going to go beyond that. But you may not have that pull. It doesn't mean you never will, or it can't happen, but you got to work up to it. So you have to kind of have a marathon mindset where sometimes you just have to, like, I know people, it's really tempting to do I'm going to go and refresh every 5 minutes. That's okay to a point, but to save your sanity, take a break. Like
Right.
literally, I've seen more pledges roll in when I've just kind of let it happen. I mean, yes, do advertise, yes, do the hustle, but sometimes opportunities come to you, or sometimes like you can ask your friends. Like one of my friends, he said, you know, like probably what you can do, like Mog and her husband, I'm cool with them. And we talk sometimes business. And he suggested, hey, why don't you talk to these people and everything? So get interviews, get everything lined up, do a lot of prep work. Like I was working on this thing for 90 days before I launched it. And during those 90 days, like about a few weeks to a month ahead of time, or maybe even 5 weeks, I set up interviews with people as much as I could. And there were pre-interviews and then there were post-interviews. Also activate your follow page in promotions as soon as you can, so people can look at it if you feel like it. If you don't want to get feedback, fine. But if you want people to follow the Kickstarter, fine, because like right now I have 76 people following it at this moment. I started out with 52. So, and I made like 6,000 like when I had 20 people following me initially. But the more people follow it, that's when they'll get activated to do it, to pledge, or to say, hey, you know, this is happening. For me, you have to mentally prepare in the terms it's a marathon. And sometimes you're going to slow down and you will need to take a break. Like take a day break or take a hour break. Like when you feel like you're getting too much, just you need to not be as stressed out as possible. I know people are like, oh, but I have to make this money. No, de-stress. That will help you make the money. Trust me. It's amazing. But at the same time, be ready to go when the thing is like when Travis was saying, hey, I'm going to advertise you. I was fucking tired, but it's like, I have to adjust stuff. I wanted to get him out food. Well, I had to order in and take care of this because I had to pay attention to it. And then, you know, go and talk to people. Like, don't do this whole thing. Like we were talking earlier, like, oh, I don't have room. Well, you should have me because of this. Go on the thing of working it out. Like there was one time this one person, like when I talked to them, it's like, hey, but it's like, you negotiate, you talk to them normally how you would like to be talked to. Like, hey, you know, I have this Kickstarter. It began this time and ends this time. Can we do this? Oh, well, you know, yeah, we can, or we can do it. And if they can't do it at the beginning of the campaign, that's okay. You're going to find ones that'll do it at the beginning of the campaign. If they can do it towards the end or in the middle, anything that will continue the impetus is going to be good. So, and also you should be out there. Also, don't spam the shit out of everything because Facebook will tag you and Facebook is already screwing you over anyway with the algorithm.
Right.
Like maybe 1 or 2 times a day. Sometimes also talk to people and cold call them, but don't do the, hi, I'm doing this Kickstarter and do this copy paste thing, because I will guarantee you, Travis, me, and I, at least Travis and me, we just like, you shut off. It's like, who the fuck are you? Like, it's not that you're being rude, but it's like, you're hitting me up for money. You didn't have any effort to talk to me as a normal person. And I tend to talk to people, but I say, hey, you know, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. So you're running this Kickstarter. Yeah, I'm running this Kickstarter too. Hey, you want to take a look at it? You know, it's actually pretty funny. If you like it, hey, if you want to take a look, they usually end up backing it. Right. Be very, very soft sale. Do not fucking spam people. That is the biggest thing that turns me off. It's like, did you make an effort to get to know me? Did you make an effort that we could talk about? Like with EV down here, we talked about it. And I said, okay, well, this is what I have to do. On the first day, I have to focus purely on my Kickstarter. But the next day, I featured his. Sure. Because it's like within the first few days, you want to really focus on your Kickstarter and not take impetus away. But when it starts to lag, then you can go and start sharing updates.
Right.
Thing to do to bolster. Yeah. And the thing is with Kickstarter, you don't want to go and just do like, oh, this one plan fits everything, because it won't. There's Kickstarters which will vary. Like the first day is almost always like you want to have all your shit done that day. Of course. Or like get as much of it in as possible. But sometimes you've had days, like I've had 3 dead days and I went past goal. But there are times like where I've kind of like had a dead day or weekends were dead or something. So you kind of have to gauge it as it goes along. So it doesn't fit an exact same schedule. So just be in it for the long run. Don't burn yourself out too much. It's actually, this Kickstarter is weirdly enough kind of like a more mentally easy Kickstarter that I've ever had. And I don't think it's just because I know how to do it or I know the thing and all that. I think it's just sort of like I'm just willing to allow things to happen as I put it out there. So like when you put stuff out there, let it go, let
Right.
it propagate. And I've noticed stuff in Facebook particularly, if I put it out there, and yeah, keep putting it out there per day, but you'll notice that it'll have that kind of rollover impetus effect. So yeah, don't get caught for spamming, because I've had that a couple of times happen to me, on Facebook. But yeah.
So Danny, I know you've been working a long day with the new releases, but I bought my books and they were kind of crap this week. So I mean, it wasn't that hard of a day. So you do the double duty, watching shows at night, backing Kickstarters, and then trying to promote your own. What kind of advice you got?
Unmute, Danny.
I'm not gonna lie, I feel kind of like Nathan in the sense like
Fish out of water?
I'll admit we're lucky that the format of our book allows us to work with 4 or 5 other creative teams, some of which have some Kickstarter clout, some which don't, but they at least have friends, family, So it's a channel for us. We're really lucky that we have a channel of people promoting, and that helps us get to a lot of people. To get to our customer base, and as Christy kind of said it, and I know Austin will probably say it too, because I've seen him when he's on Kickstarter kind of mention it on Facebook. Well, we have a business account. Like our Facebook account is like a business account or whatever. It's a page. It's not like a friend thing. So like from my understanding, we're already hindered on how many people even see our posts to begin with. Like we have to pay a lot of paid promotion just to get in front of our own customers, oddly enough.
Yeah.
So
I think that's why some people will do a profile as their main page for that, just because I did that between my art page and my profile page. I'm like, well, screw it. More people see stuff through my profile page, so I'm just going to do it all through there, and it gets a lot more interaction.
Yeah.
You could also start a group with your logo or your production thing, and that'll help too, because that'll allow other Kickstarters to come on and post on it, and then you can of course share your stuff.
Yeah.
But I'll also say even less, a lot of people don't get why the collective would want to have a Kickstarter. So they don't get some backers. Their backers are lower than others because they're like, why do they need it? They already have a comic store. Apparently your only goal is to spend money on everybody else and never try to do it, even though the whole purpose of it is to get your stuff out there in their store so they can sell it better.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's funny. It's also tough because we're really blessed, and obviously we have Travis to be able to pitch it to people, but we're really blessed that a lot of our customers wanted to back us through Kickstarter. We had a guy back us for $300 through Kickstarter. I mean, he was adding add-ons, but $300 at Kickstarter. That guy totally could have waited 2 months and picked it up in store, same price, and I mean, obviously we're going to still do all of our rewards for these guys when they pick them up locally, but we're really lucky with that. And honestly, let's be real, there are people who are going to pick it up in store, on release day, straight up whenever we fulfill and we have Travis there and everything, they'll buy it. That could have made the Kickstarter account and could have backed us, and we'll be happy to have that money later down the line. But I honestly, I envy, or I do not, I'm not jealous of any of y'all of what you guys have to do to promote, because I feel like Twitter is potentially the best place to do it, because with the right hashtags and the right clout or something, you can get in front of a lot of people. Facebook, I feel like the algorithms are just so messed up. It's so hard to get in front of your own audience.
Instagram's another good one, and with less crap you deal with over Twitter.
Yeah. Well, Twitter is interesting nowadays. But I know Jimmy Palmiotti every once in a while is straight up just who has a Kickstarter live, and if you can get that signal boost, I mean, I know that's not what everybody's aiming for, but you get that retweet from a Jimmy Palmiotti,
oh yeah.
I can only
Specifically
imagine.
Jimmy, only Jimmy though.
Only Jimmy.
Right. If
You
anybody
don't-
else wants to share my campaign, I untag myself and say, no, you're not Jimmy Palmiotti.
Don't back me now.
Well, and I tried to do one of those cross promotions where I was like, hey, if you tweet me, I'll go in on my updates, I'll mention your book, and I only got one reply. Hey, I put it up there, friends on Twitter, hey, here's the Kickstarter that actually replied, but I only got one.
Yeah, that happens. Austin, I know it's been a tough campaign, but what has worked for you in the past? Because I know one of your things were really tough towards the end and getting that last push. I know Anthology's a little bit. You're not alone, so it's way. It feels nicer, even if you're struggling, right? Because we're struggling together.
That's right. So what everyone said is definitely kind of worked. Was different with my campaign is I'm hindered by a couple things. One, previous campaigns I could do retailer tiers and whatnot. I'm not allowed to do that with it. I'm only Scout said I'm only supposed to be focusing on individuals. So I've had stores ask me about doing a store exclusive cover. I've had other ones that want to do bulk and all that sort of thing. I've had to say no. So that's potentially thousands of dollars that would have gone to the campaign I can't do. That being said, it's easy to fall into the trap of the panic. You have to get stuff out there. I'm not getting enough back. I get frustrated with Facebook. It is not just my comic books; it's my acting stuff too. I can make like a fart joke and have like 80 people give me a thumbs up, but I try to like say something about art. It's an automatic clamp down from Facebook. I get like 3 or 4 people. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do different images and showing the book itself and saying, here's what I'm working on. Hopefully you like it. Here's a link if you want to back it. Or I'll say, I'm doing, thank you for those who backed. We're at this percentage. It's really great. We'd love for you to help. Here's a link to try to get us past it. And that's, to me, the thank you has worked the best for me. You know what I mean? Hey, thank you so much. We're at 52% with this many backers and this amount of money. We need this much more to make goal. Please consider the links at the bottom. I've done ads in the past, and they've got a lot of attention, but it hasn't really turned into a lot of backing. So
I can give you a secret on ads real quick. And this is a good one. So, because I work in web design and web marketing.
Yeah.
If you spend $10, you'll magically notice that your personal pay stuff tends to have more boost as well. I haven't done it with this campaign, but in the past, if you spend a little bit of money, Kickstarter will kind of unlock your whole profile, right? And you can get a little bit. So you don't have to spend a lot, and don't expect that. But if it's going to help your regular engagement,
Well, what's different with this one too is I normally go the opposite. I do 21 days.
Right.
This way, I start at the beginning. I don't have that much of a lull, and I finish strong. And I'm actually able to get a really good boost and go way above. And I'm doing 30 days. It's a little bit different. But what I've done with my campaign is, in previous, I look at it halfway through and I'm like, okay, what's pledging, what's not?
Right.
Take out the ones that aren't pledging. I'll rearrange and add some new tiers in there halfway through. That might work a little bit better, some add-on. And that's why it's a little bit fresher for those. I'll let all my backers know, hey, we've added some different tiers. If you want to switch gears and maybe switch things up, then maybe it will look better for you. I'll go back to my old campaigns and kind of let them know, like you said, Travis, I'm like, here's stuff I'm doing with zombies like that. I do have a snowman story that could use some love if you could help out too, and kind of go from there.
The other thing that you can do, so Kickstarter recently added that you can be in 2 categories when you are in stuff.
I did the 2 categories, yeah.
Did you put yourself in publishing kids books?
I didn't know. I didn't see that.
Yeah, there's publishing kids books. So that's what I would be in if I was you. I would take comics, but also put myself in children's kids books. The other thing you can do is you can actually move that around, and that'll put where Facebook will send you, where not Facebook, where Kickstarter will send you. So you can switch your stuff into the different categories, and that may help you a little bit. And I would actually search there to see if there's people to cross promote, because you'll probably get a better result from them than you will from Kickstarter, from comics.
Here's a question for like general panel, and I don't hear much about it. How do you all feel about backer kits, and are they worth it?
I've never done it, but I should, because I suck at it.
Now, so backer kit is only good if you have 200 plus backers and make over $5,000, because the amount you spend and the amount you're going to get back in.
Okay.
It's a pain in the ass to set up. But it does have a lot of benefits. So I have a huge display of things to sell. So for me, I have a lot of add-ons. So there's a lot of potential for sales. But if you don't have anything, it doesn't work as well. And you should always have something special. So if, like, let's say I was EB, I would probably put a special cover just on that backer kit to make that worth it if I was using backer kit.
We were thinking about that too. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're going to use backer kit, make sure you add that extra thing. The only other thing that people are doing with backer kit recently that's really good is they're charging shipping on the end. I think that it's immoral to do it on U.S. backing, but if you want to do that on international backing, I think that's completely okay. Like, and make sure, hey, and the reason why we're doing that is if we can get the books cost down, we can help give you that benefit, or that in the international changes all the time. But I know a lot of people who stopped supporting. I'm a huge fan of SourcePoint Press, but they stopped supporting SourcePoint Press Kickstarters because of that, because they charge the shipping after the fact. Go ahead.
So I had thought about not charging for shipping in the United States, but with the paper cost rising and everything.
Oh, you're good. I charge for everything now. It used to be all free.
And that was why I asked DB and I said if he can afford it later about a retailer tier, because we just got our books back printed. And granted, because of the way we set up the Kickstarter and obviously Travis being a very forward thinker, we're not going to lose any money. But I think it was almost like $1 more a book than we thought it was going to be. And, there was no negotiating that. That was the paper. That's the price. This is the paper we have. Like, take it or leave it.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, I had a sweetheart deal. I'll share it. I had a sweetheart deal. I wasn't charged for variant covers. I wasn't charged for various weights. Like I had a really good sweetheart deal. All that's gone away. Like, they don't care at all anymore. So my latest book, went from a little bit to a lot.
And Danny, just to answer you again, I got to talk to my partner and my wife, but to be honest, like we see this whole thing as kind of an investment opportunity and just kind of creating a base. So, I'm kind of weighing eyes more than how much we're making, because this being our first, we want people to read it, because I just want the story out there more for this. Maybe the second one I'm going to be a little more, but just to touch on that. Can I ask, does anybody have like any favorites or warnings on printers, printing companies? Anybody?
Wellspring's good.
Yeah, unfortunately, right now they're all kind of bad because of the paper shortage. Like, seriously, they're all taking in orders because they need the money.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like that's loosening up though, because I talked to Tommy over at Kablam, and he says it was getting better over there. They were just having trouble getting cover stock in yet. Was it?
Yeah, the digital paper's back, but the offset's hard to get. So if you're printing a lot and trying to go offset, it's a little bit harder. But if you're printing digital, it's getting really good. But we got really lucky. Danny and I got our books done in a week. But that's because they had paper that week. Like, we got super lucky. And again, I've done huge numbers with them, so they like to keep me happy. That also helps. I'll be honest. Like, I don't know if that would have worked for everybody.
Yeah, and like Braden said in the comments, we've used Comic Wellspring as well.
Yep.
Their turnaround time is really good. One time we made an error with something in our digital design, like we sent the wrong file, and they actually ended up making it right and sending us everything, replacements for free and everything like that. So, like, I can speak for both Comic Impressions and Wellspring that we've both used at this point, and I've been really happy with both. I mean, obviously with Impressions, sometimes we save on shipping because, like, Travis or somebody here in Central Florida will drive over there and pick them up. But yeah, like, it's not that bad. Like, they're both pretty good.
And you can't always get what you want.
Friendly.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I basically use KDP, but that's just because it's just ease of porting and everything. Like, people can buy the books through Amazon if they want, but I offer a special deal. Like, I have a certain amount of books at my house, and I said, look, you order through me, I'll sign it and send it to you.
Well, so it's easy on your size too, because you're doing kind of little mini graphic novels.
Yeah, and not only that, I mean, Amazon's a big company, so they're going to have more access to paper.
Sure.
As for like really shitty printing, like houses, the only one that I heard that was ever an issue, but I think they're not in existence anymore, is Kraken Print.
Correct.
I had some friends print through Kraken Print, and when they did a great job. But then they kind of like went bankrupt. I don't think they managed their money or whatever well.
They took orders and they couldn't fulfill. They ended up going bankrupt, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they held the comics hostage. They were in a warehouse. It was really bad, and they had to pay the warehouse.
That's what I heard too.
And they're in SourcePoint Press. So they're there. Again, I like SourcePoint Press, but they kind of use that printer. They kind of bought that printer out as a deal. Like, I don't know the behind the scenes of it, but from what I understand. But hey, if you can do it, do it.
Right. So yeah, I mean, there's like other ones, but that's the one that I knew of that like kind of messed up a lot of people, but I don't think they're in existence anymore.
Yeah, the other one that I guess the one to stay away from right now is Mixam. And it's not because Mixam is bad in any way, shape, or form, but Mixam isn't really a printer. They're a reseller. And it took me a long time to figure this out. So what they'll do is they have discount rates with all these shops, and they'll find the best rate, and then you're added to the thing. But if a print house has to choose this job, their job, or a Mixam job, they're going to choose their own job because whatever. Right?
Yeah.
Did someone say Comic Impressions located in Florida? Is that
correct? Yeah. I live in Florida, and I go pick it up. It's in Fort Myers.
Oh, okay? Because that's who was recommended to me, so that's who we've been kind of talking to. But okay, good.
Yeah, Rich is a really good guy. He got clobbered pretty hard with COVID and everything like that, but he's riding the ship. He does good stuff. He's good people.
Yeah, he responds really quickly. So
If he doesn't, I'll give you his cell phone number. It's fine.
Yeah. Show him his house.
Yeah.
Well, I can't do that, but I know where his church is, and he does barbecues on Thursday nights. So if we
Who barbecues at night? Such a weird thing. Barbecues at
I
night.
think it's just
good for barbecue, Danny. Come on now.
Time for barbecue. What's wrong with you?
Jeez.
Nathan, you got any advice or EB?
So I'm looking at printing for my first time, and we've been pretty much formatting for Comics Wellspring. As far as promoting, I mean, I've been doing pretty much the stuff you guys have been talking about. I've been promoting in Facebook groups. I have a business page, like was mentioned, for Tenebris Anima Comics, which is my logo, and then I've also been doing Instagram, and I just learned that this week. Like I said, I kind of jumped in head first. I even learned Twitter after I launched my Kickstarter. And so I'm really learning the promotional side of it now. The only other thing I could say is, like, if you're asking to be on shows, be super polite. Like I'm always very formal, and then apologize for being formal and let them know, hey, this is just because we haven't spoken before. I was just curious if you had a spot open before such and such a time. I know it's short notice. I kind of jumped in without knowing what I needed to do, and I'm always really personable and straight up with what's going on. I have a Google Doc that's kind of a preview document it doesn't have anything on it that's not on my Kickstarter, because it's my first book, and so everything's out there. I have so little to open with, but yeah, I mean, I've had a great response. I mean, it's been a good time. Like, just get out there and promote. Like, that's a thing that I didn't know I was going to have to do when I launched a Kickstarter, that people were like, so are you going to promote it? And I was like, what?
Magic fairies don't give me money? Why?
Thing with that too, even with newer people, and I ran into it even when I go to help promote with a book where I'm just doing color work on, that not drip feeding enough of the art or about the book ahead of your launch. Some people will wait almost until the last week of before launch before they start doing that.
I didn't do any of it till after my launch. Like, the day of my launch is when I started promoting. So that is one of the first things I learned when I did this, was you should probably do that before you launch.
The thing is,
but little snippets of stuff here and there, and drip feed that stuff for like at least a month, man.
Right.
like the thing is that, Nathan, don't feel bad about that. Like, my very first campaign failed because I overestimated my base, the base or my following at that time. So I asked for too much. And like even though I learned enough of Kickstarter, it was kind of like, okay, it's kind of like wearing a new pair of pants. You just got to kind of figure out a way how to navigate them. And I'm going to tell you like that I'm not saying you're going to fail in the first Kickstarter. Please don't take that.
He's already succeeded. He's already
funded.
That's the thing. Yeah. So I'm not trying to like say, oh, you're going to fail, or I mean, even though you passed it, I'm not trying to say. What I'm saying, I'm not trying to interject negativity. It's like just view this as a learning experience. Like
Yes.
next time you'll wear the pants better. You're breaking in the shoes. So that's what I'm saying is that I learned from my failure, but then I came back better after a year, and it's like, okay, now I get it how it's supposed to work.
And
you
so
just, like, put it out.
I'm looking forward to hitting the ground running with my second book and seeing if I'm way better prepared. So this for me has been it's a huge learning experience. And like I said, it's been a blast, but I've had to learn on the run because I jumped in way fast.
Well, and let me tell you the secret that you're not going to like.
Okay.
Number 2 is harder.
Yeah.
Second campaign is the hardest campaign you're ever going to do. Because the first one, your friends and family all like, hey, look, my friend's making a comic book. Woo! And then your other friends are like, he made a comic book. Why does he need more money? I don't understand how this works. Like, why is he God? Nathan's always asking for money. Why is God always asking for what is he doing? But hopefully, in between there, you've made fans. And those fans become your backers, and then it gets easier and easier. But I will tell you a couple of secrets that I do. That how I get some success. One is this show. Because I don't have a show, I get more views on Facebook than most people who have shows because I don't do it on the regular. So it becomes out of the blue. And at the same time, when I grab a friend who I know is struggling, I'll go, hey, let's you and me go live real quick because it tends to bring more traction because Facebook doesn't know what to do with it. Right? Facebook, if you launch every day at 5, they know less people watch it or whatever the case would be. They let more people know that you're live because most people go live and they don't go live that often. They're like, what's happening? Is their family dead? Like, or what are they confessing? Are they coming out of the closet? What's going on? So that helps tremendously. I've kind of like, I go live too often lately, so it doesn't work as well as it used to. But if you don't go live a lot and you can grab someone who is in the industry, who's a little bit higher up than you, and you can do a quick live, it makes all the magic happen because it makes the algorithms come, allows you to share and do things and get stuff. The other thing is that I do when I do shows, I don't just do a show. I don't just jump on somebody's show. I will 100% watch it and see what kind of traction they're bringing. And I don't do that to be rude. I bring traction, and traction is not always backers. Sometimes it's just, this is the type of show that I need to be on. I need to be asked those questions, or I need to be at that audience, to get that. Like, I love going on Danny's show because even if I don't go any backers, I have a store that's talking about me. That's a big deal, right? That helps me, and that makes me more credible, which helps lift it up.
Exposure, man, exposure.
Right.
No, I actually noticed that too. Like when I started doing lives, like I normally don't do lives a lot.
Right.
I used to do a thing called lunch hour. Now I kind of like stopped because I just got way too busy with other stuff. But I noticed that, yeah, like when I started doing lives like the past couple of days, people started noticing them. So that's why I'm kind of like going, yeah, I think there's credence to what you're saying, Travis, on that. Because it's sort of like, I think they've been screwing with the algorithm. Like I've been looking at my feedback, where I get the participants. And it's like, oh, it's mainly Kickstarter. It's not so much Facebook so much. So I think it used to be where Facebook used to be dominant, but it's still second dominant, but it's not as big as it was.
Yeah, and StreamYard's a godsend. We can go to multiple platforms. That helps.
Oh, yeah. But Travis, let me ask you, because like, I looked at the stats on ours, and obviously our store's main following is Facebook. We have a Twitter, we have an Instagram. It's all Facebook. And I want to say I was kind of surprised how, I mean, it's not even close to 50% is what our Facebook to Kickstarter ratio is, but the Facebook percentage was like, I think over 20, might have been 19. And I was surprised to see that. But then I thought about when you do paid promotions on Facebook, like 3 to 10 times the amount of people see it. Right. Have you ever done a paid Facebook promotion for one of your?
Yeah, I do them all the time. I sometimes do it if I think that I'm being shadow banned or blacklist. I'll pay a little bit of money to kind of unban me. I'm like, all right, fine, you caught me. I spam too much. Here's $10 Kickstarter. You happy? Are you happy? And now you have my credit card on file, and you know I'm going to mess up and do something stupid. You know it. I know it. I'm not going to understand all the details.
You're going to go all wow and.
Right.
Well, it's kind of weird too, because it's like with some of my friends and I, some of them are friends and fans. They'll like retweet shit and everything else. I mean, I'm really touched by how like people have kind of fallen into like helping me. I mean, I didn't even ask them. I just basically did all this, or like, this is aside from the interviews. I appreciate them. I'm just thinking like just some of my friends and fans are just like retweeting, resharing freaking everything. I'm like, what? You know?
I'm one of those guys on Facebook where like when I see other Kickstarters and stuff like that, I share them a lot. And I think that's gotten me some help with getting traction, is when other people saw my Kickstarter start, they did the same thing for me.
Oh hell, and with Gage, you were posting more of everybody else's Kickstarter more than your own, buddy.
All right. So I don't want to keep anybody too late. It's already close to 12. So I want to go through everybody's campaign real quick. We're going to kind of wrap it up. I know that Braden has some questions. Braden, just reply here, because I keep going back to the Facebook. If there are questions that we can do after the air, or if you need everybody here, you know, we can ask one question right before we leave. But I do want to wrap up the show, because I've been doing this a lot, mother effers, and it's crazy. It's like insane. I've been doing it since the launch last Thursday. I've been on a show every night for 3 hours a night. I haven't seen my wife. Literally, I just realized that 10 o'clock tonight was the first time I kissed my wife all day. It's been crazy.
Damn.
So it's just been nuts. But this is what I want to do. So I hustle. That's what I do. And sometimes make money on my real job. So we're going to go over campaigns. I'll start with mine, and we'll see where we started. That's something else. So I started this show at 24,784 with 440 backers. Let's see if anybody has loved me. Probably not, but that's okay.
Suspense.
Right there. So we have got 2 backers.
Nice.
And we raised, we went to 816. We are still on $20 more, and then we beat Cthulhu Invades Oz, which is really cool. So I'm really excited about that.
I've been sharing this book on Facebook.
Thanks, David. But yeah, this is my book. I'm the dude.
Dude.
So let's look at Christie's. So congratulations, you've succeeded on that. And by the way, guys, if someone has not got back, I'm going to stay until they get backing. So please have backed. I have to sleep. So let's look at. We're gonna look at Miss Demon Bitch. I don't have yours up here anymore. I closed the effing window like an idiot. Hold on,
dude. Way to go. That's gonna get you sent to hell or whatever.
I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I'm already promoting Demon Bitch. I don't think I'm doing so great.
It's funny because like it's a character based on people I hate, but it's funny because now people call me Demon Bitch.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I was gonna ask if it was based off of you, but I'm like, that's such a mean way to perceive yourself.
No, it was actually based on something I didn't like, and then my friends started calling me Demon Bitch, but it was like a compliment. So I'm like, sure, why not?
So Christy's only got $1, so let's try to get her a little bit more than $1. She's only got $1, so I'm going to stay a little bit long because we got to get Christy.
Oh, well, thank you, Travis.
I've been sharing this one on Twitter.
Well, Nathan, why don't you stop sharing and open up your effing wallet? All right?
And
Well, I mean,
Chris,
she does belong on Twitter. It's a shit fest.
and I think we're gonna do like a Kickstarter campaign update tomorrow, and we'll feature your book.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
In that update.
So one tip because I know you're new, EB. One tip: always share images.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
A lot of people don't, and it has a lower reaction, lower response, and then people don't want to share stuff with you.
And
I'm like a child because when I see images, I'm like, oh, shiny. So I want to.
With the algorithms, if you don't have an image up, you don't get as much traction either.
All right, so let's give Demon Bitch, because I'm going to stay around till she gets more than $1 backer because she's worth more than $1. She's a human being, for Christ's sakes.
Well, I am. I don't know about her. She fucking sucks, but she looks like she smells like sour milk.
So let's go to the Tales of the Collective. This is the other book that I'm doing. I just hold on.
Did you close that one too?
No, I didn't close it, but I have the back end open, and I want to show people our backers because that's probably not good.
Oh yeah, that would not be nice.
I think that's like against the rules. We sign a paper that says we can't do that.
Yes,
we digitally sign a paper.
I know they have a thing like you can't show anything, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So we started this shenanigans at 64. We got one backer, and it was a good backer. You know, that got us a couple of bucks. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I'm excited to keep this going. We got one more week to go.
Yeah. And again, this campaign is for the store, so it helps. You know, and I keep trying to tell this without being out loud, but if you're watching this, hey, you guys messaged me a lot to be in this, but the people who ask me to be in this are never people who back it. Like think, McFly. Figure it out. If you really want to be in it, perhaps give it a couple of bucks. I'm just an advice.
And we always like you can speak, I think, to this, Travis, like unbiasedly and biasedly.
Sure.
But like I've said this before with creators, the whole reason this book exists is we did the Collective Initiative Shelf, which was Kickstarter books. We were bringing Kickstarter books into the store. And it's really easy for me to go in and back somebody's Kickstarter one time, you know, be like, oh, dude, here, it just kind of like we told Nathan, your first time, you know, I'm going to do it one time. But then it totally comes down to your product and like the creators who have had good books, like, you know, Austin and you and I mean, who else? I mean, William Sam Quinton and there's guys. We go back to the well, Jonathan Hedrick, David Byrne. And when you start getting the reorders in, that's kind of when you know you have a good book, or when you have the same backer coming to you multiple times. Like, I think that's when you have a good book. And that's what we like to do with this. The people that are working in this book, we like a lot, and we want people to know about them, and we want to have them succeed. And heck, I want to see them have a book at Image in a few years.
Yeah, well, and I mean, I was just there this Saturday, and he has 2 short boxes of me, and he's like, "Hey, we have 2 short boxes of you," which is not a bad thing because he's got a really good deal on the covers, and we've done a lot of stuff. But you know, he also has 2 boxes of me. He has covers that I no longer have, which is great.
and I'm almost out of you know, like in a good way, I'm almost out of that Voodoo Nations. Right. That was our first ever cover, and I had no idea what the numbers should be, so I went a little bit higher than I should have. And a year and a half later, we're almost sold out. So,
but we made our money back early. You know,
we did. It was fun. It was fun.
So, all right, EB. Let's see yours. I know that everyone was. Oh, Austin. We're on Austin. Sorry, Austin.
That's okay.
Nobody cares about the Stillman, and you're trying to get love here, and just even your friends are just skipping you for the campaigns because right here, the best snowman Kickstarter live today.
The best.
We were at 65 to 68. We got a lot of love today.
Yep. Very happy.
64. And by the way, another hint, if you guys aren't aware, and this is a good one for you, Austin. It may not be good for everybody who's new. Don't be afraid to ask a couple of people who you know back Kickstarters a lot. Don't be that guy who just shares your link, but go, hey, man, I know you back a lot of Kickstarters. Can you back for $1? Because as you know in your email, when someone backs it shows off to a whole bunch of people. That's why, because I'm your friend, I didn't back first day because I knew everybody else was going to back first day.
Yeah.
I waited a couple of days in because I'm a super backer and I have over 300 people following me, and mostly because they want to see what kind of campaigns I do. So me backing day 3 is going to get you more backers. So I hold my backers, and I know it sounds crappy. You're like, why is that guy not backing me day 1? It's actually because I like you more, not less. You know, and then I do the opposite. If I see someone really struggling or trying to get there, I'm going to back day 1 to make sure they get whatever.
Thank you.
No problem.
I think I did pretty good on day 1. That was pretty crazy what happened on Pop.
Yeah, I think you're doing great.
Yeah. It's one of those things like that my overachieving brain wants, like, no, now. Everything on now. So I understand like the tension behind Kickstarters and the stress because my brain goes there all the time. But yeah.
It's even worse when you start building a pattern and then that pattern doesn't work anymore. Like we fund in a week. I've raised the amount to 10 grand. Why is it not funding in a week? I don't understand.
Yeah. I mean, it's also kind of weird because there's a little added stress when you raise the bar. Like, I know I can raise $1,000 easily. Did it this day, you know, like, but I'm not asking for just $1,000. Now I've gotten raised the bar. So it's kind of like, you know.
Yes.
All right.
So we got
Shocking.
nervous from what we actually needed versus what we were going to ask. So being our first, we kind of undercut.
Sure. So you were at 71 and you're up to 78. You got a huge support. And I know a lot of them was from us. People were showing you love because that book looks effing fantastic.
Rock on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to comment to what Nathan was saying about waiting to the last minute. I didn't try to, but because there was doing so much stuff like editing the video and everything, I, got so behind on but anyway, that's neither here nor there.
But it looks good. I like it.
Thank you.
It's a good book. Kind of makes me think of Pinocchio in a weird way. I don't know why.
It's got vibes like that. Probably more the Guillermo del Toro Pinocchio coming out.
Oh,
So this one I'm a little bit upset with.
Huh?
So Nathan's what we're going to show next. I'm a little bit upset with it because if we would have only got one backer, it would have been 69, and that would have been fun for me.
What do you get?
We went and got
you got 2.
We got 2, which ruins the whole thing. So whatever.
I'm gonna go unback it now.
Unback it, please. Thank you. I'm helping.
Yeah, Danny, just wait until this is done, then go ahead and reback.
Yeah.
But yeah, so everybody's got a little bit of love. We're gonna stick around for Chrissy to see if we can get her a little bit more love. But anybody who wants to leave, you're more than welcome to. It is late at night. I totally get it. But I'm gonna stick around for Chrissy because I think she deserves more than $1. And I'm gonna hunt for more than $1.
Hunt it.
All right. Good night, Austin. Good night, Danny.
Good night, Austin. Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here too. I'll keep watching. So, Christy, I'm hoping for mad love for you. I'm gonna get you a backer as well. I'm gonna back. I think I'm only gonna back for like $2, so I beat that last guy. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah.
Well, the thing is that here's a selling point that I do. Every time anybody backs me, I don't care the amount. I write them a really fucked up thank you message too. What I hate is copy paste. Like seriously,
Yeah,
I understand. Yeah, it's like, I get it. It's nice. Like it's better if you have a message, but for me, it's like I like writing. Oh, thank you. Now you're gonna have to disinfect that shit before you don't know where it's been or something like that. Like that's the thing that I like to do because I like to make people laugh personally, and that's the point of Demon Bitch. And that's the thing. It's like I just like doing that. I know that maybe past a certain point that would not be viable for me anymore, but I'm not at that point. And plus, I keep my writing on point too, like the little zingers and shit.
So for those who don't know, just a note because I know people are leaving. As long as I have a campaign live, I will do these on either a Wednesday or Thursday night. Most of the time, it's on Wednesday. But my wife likes Masked Singer, so maybe on Thursday some night. So I mean, it really depends on my wife. I'm going to be 100% honest, but I'll normally announce it beforehand. You're more than welcome as long as you have a Kickstarter or something going out to come out.
What time is it?
Phil, you just go with the F you want. If Phil sees a StreamYard link, he clicks it. It doesn't matter what it is.
So what,
Backstage,
Travis, you always go live at like 10, right? Almost always.
Always at 10. Yeah, it's always at 10.
That would be 7
10 o'clock Eastern. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So
What were you
yes.
gonna say, Edie?
Oh, I was going to say that
Good night, Austin.
Bitch kind of seems.
Hey, thank you for backing. I got to go to the hospital tomorrow, so I got to go to sleep.
Okay.
All right, have a good night.
Nice meeting you.
Good one, dude. Take it easy. We'll see you soon at the store.
You better. Miss you guys.
Yeah, for sure. We got to get you back out there.
All right. See you later.
Take it easy.
Chrissy, I was just saying, I don't know how your editing skills are at all, or if you can put something together, but Demon Bitch to me seems like have you heard of the character Marcel the Shell?
God, it sounds familiar. I'm kind of brain dead today. I've been battling like
It was
a
this
little
YouTube video that Jenny Slate and her co-writer did, and A24 is making it into a feature film. for some reason, Demon Bitch seems like the anti Marcel the Shell. So if you could just look it up.
No, I'm laughing. I've had a lot of people want to go and have this made into a show. And I do have a show Bible and I've pitched it, but it's like I haven't been able to pitch it really that much.
Right.
So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like, I'm not trying to cut you down. It is a consideration. I have been approached. I have pitched. It's just like right now it has not been the time to do it. It's just.
I was just going to say for promotional, if you could grab a snippet of Marcel the Shell and have Demon Bitch go back and forth with Marcel, I think that could be hilarious and a good promotional, quick little snippet.
I'll have to consider that. Yeah, Marcel the Shell. I'm not really a video person, but let's see.
That's where, I mean, yeah, that's where my mind goes. That's why I edited our trailer the way I did, which I was like worried that it might be weird because I animated some of the stuff. Not quite like the other guy did who showed us his video. That was like full on animation.
Right.
But anywho.
Yeah.
And I just half-assed it with StreamYard, so we all do different things.
Yeah.
It's weird because like I didn't even put any music in this video and everything, and people were like, "Dude, this is the best video ever." Like Mike Tenor, this other guy who's a backer, and he just Kickstarter. He said, and he's got a really fucked up sense of humor. That's why I appreciate him. He's like, "Man, I watched that video, and I gotta say, that's like some torture for somebody with ADHD." It's like that made me actually sit down and watch it. I said, "Yeah, I've been getting good feedback." He said, "Okay, let me balance it out. It sucks."
It's because it's the persona. It's like the persona fills it all, which is why, again, I bring it back to Marcel the Shell because it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, no, I'm not shooting you down. It's a good idea. It's just I'm like, man, it's like frustrating because it's like to get to pitch. I did get a couple of good chances, but it's like when I pitched, it didn't work out. I mean, that's just what pitching is. But I do plan to pitch in future. It's just probably the right time will open up or somehow.
Yeah, you just got to find the right person to champion it. That's all it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's also like how I got it. It was just through this set of circumstances. I'm not saying that won't ever happen again. It's just, yes, I have been pitching it. You know, it has been done. It doesn't mean I'm stopped there, but it's just like one of those things. But
no.
43 backers. Oh, who did this?
That was me. I told you I was gonna do it.
12.31.
She's worth more than $2. She's a $5 or nothing. So I'm going to be around for at least $3 more.
I got to run off, but Travis, thank you so much for having me on. A pleasure to meet everybody. Danny.
Evie,
say hi to the wife.
Let us know for sure if you end up doing anything, even if it ends up being on the back end, man. You know Travis now. If you guys get printed and you feel comfortable, just let us know what the cost is, and we'll love to get at least a couple copies in the store.
Awesome.
Yeah, if you need some advice to build retail tiers, I can help you. Just message me privately.
Sweet. Thank you, guys.
Oh, I gotta write the collective something. This is the type of message you can read it out loud.
No, I see. I don't think you should message it there. I think you should leave a review on their website. I think that's more important.
1 star.
Yo,
you think I'm fucking worth this much? This is how much you thought I was worth.
Yo, you know what kills me, man? And I'm just gonna go on one rant and then I'm gonna leave.
All right.
People who leave a 4-star review, but they don't write anything. How are you not going to tell me what I need to do to get you the 5-star service, yet tell me I didn't give you 5-star service?
Okay, Danny, read your message.
I actually just upped my pledge because, I want to make sure that Travis can go to sleep too.
Oh, no. This is Travis go to sleep fun.
This is like instead of a pity fuck, it's a pity fuck.
I love it, Christy. That's great.
So is anyone like a fan of the old Nicktoons? Like Demon Bitch gives me that old Real Monsters vibe.
I was just gonna say Oblina or whatever from Real Monsters. Yep.
Yeah.
Like the skinny one, the skinny white one.
With
right?
that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that I personally, like, I've heard of the show and I've seen it, like, on the peripheral, but I never watched the show.
Right.
No, and it's probably good because it allowed you to build the character without having any of that preconceived stuff.
Yeah, like, some people, like, were going, like, oh, this looks like Bunsen and the Beast. I'm like, what the fuck's that one? Like, I never... The thing is, like, what's the advantage of me being in my fucking shell and not like creating is like nobody can accuse me of like copying things. Well, this looks like Bunsen the Beast. I'm like, okay, let me look at it. And it's like it kind of does, but it's like got all these like weird whirly arms and stuff. I said, oh, okay. Well, I thought I'd let you know. And like I looked at the thing. The guy did work in Nickelodeon, but he was a fucking janitor. I'm like, let me block him.
All right, on that
Oh
joke,
shit!
I'm gonna get out of
Holy-
here. That was great. But thank you, Travis.
What
for coming
happened?
on. Thank you, everybody. Good
Oh,
luck.
we upped it.
Oh,
We upped it right now. I got to write some rude ass shit now.
Oh, you can go back there. All right, good.
Take it easy, y'all.
Later,
Thank
Dave.
you. So let's see.
So, anybody else got anything to say before we sign off here? That they've got? Do you want to do a last minute pitch or anything?
I just want to say thank you guys for having me on. I mean, I appreciate it. So
Yeah. Tell you what, man. How many days you got left?
I am done in 10 days.
Done in 10 days. What are you
Yes.
at?
I am at, I would have to look it up.
So I got a little bit of clout. Just a little bit. If you can get to 6,000, I will run a vampire game live for people.
Oh, holy heck.
Yeah, so you can start advertising that if you can get to 6,000, and you could even, it can be backers, they can volunteer for it, however you want to do it. I can run up to 6 people. I can do vampire or werewolf. I can't
Who gets to play? And if it's werewolf, do I get to?
It's your fucking campaign, so at least you can play. But if you can get to 6,000 and you want to use that as your promotion, you can use my name. If you can get to 6,000, if you can get people to back and get people to throw in $1 a year. I know that there's a gentleman named Global Frequency who loves me tremendously, and they have been trying to get me in a vampire game. I know Mike and Trish have been trying to get me to run a vampire game. So you may be able to find that. So you're more than welcome to use that as your companion. It will be in May before I can run that game, though. So just so you're prepared. But yeah, if you can get to 6,000, if you can hustle and you want to use my name to do so, please go ahead and do so, Nathan.
A vampire or werewolf? Sorry, I'm making notes because that's what I do.
He takes notes, man. He's good about that.
No joke.
Yeah, if you think it'll help you get to your next spot, please absolutely do so. And by the way, thank you, Jerome, for giving a little bit of money to help me go to sleep. Jerome is my letterer, and he's always watching from afar and going,
Oh, to have Jerome read you the fucking message I gave him.
yeah, Jerome, read me the message or send it to me. But yes, I got it. In fact, I got it on my watch before it even happened. But yeah, if you think that my clout will help you, please go ahead and use the shit out of it, Nathan.
Yeah, I'll post it out there and see what the people do. Like, and I want to play in that game too. That sounds awesome. I haven't gotten to play
If you want to
werewolf,
be a
so.
little bit more Godslayers, we could do a mix werewolf and vampire. There's ways that I can make that work. It's hard, but we can make it work. It'll probably end up with the last hour being combat between the vampires and werewolves, because that's how those things end. But for the first 3 hours, it'll be fine.
So I've been game mastering since I was like 14 years old. I'm 42.
Sure.
I think I can count the number of games I've played on one or played in on one hand. I always tell everyone it's like always the bridesmaid, never the bride. I'm always the game master, never the player.
Well, I don't want to brag, but I will. So I ran. I was kind of a big deal in the Camarilla for LARPs, and in One War by Night for Werewolf, I ran very large. One War by Night. Guru Nation is the name of the organization. Not One War by Night. I didn't play in that one very much, but I ran 400-person games, and I was very big in that community for a real long time. And
Holy cow!
That's why Cthulhu Invades Wonderland works. Thank you, Jerome. She's a waste of electrons. This was the message. But that's, to be honest, that's a secret for Cthulhu Invades Wonderland success, because I'm used to running games with so many people. I always have to tell my story, but everybody's characters have their own stories, right? So having them all mix in one story is very easy to me. So when I do an anthology, I don't look at it like other people. Oh, just tell me your stories and I'll mix it, match, and I'll try to thematically put it. No, I have a narrative. Here's the story I want to tell. You can tell any story in that universe as long as it fits this narrative, and then I'm going to make it all go together to one cohesive story. And I did it with Cthulhu Invades Oz. I did it with Cthulhu Invades Wonderland.
I always love incorporating other people's stories into my storylines when I run games.
Yeah.
Like that's always the funnest part is helping them develop a character that they built on a piece of paper real quick into something that they love, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's good. The other thing that I would, it looks like you've already. I was thinking you didn't back 10 backers, so, but you have. One of the things that another trick that you can do, Nathan, is it's called the Hamilton trick. If you see a campaign that's similar to yours, or you think they would like your shit, just give them a buck. Most of the time, it'll have them look at your campaign, and maybe they'll reach back out to you and go, "Hey, thank you for backing me. Hey, I noticed you have a campaign," and blah, blah, blah. And then you're sharing updates and you're good to go. It's way better than a Twitter post.
And if it's similar, man, it might even be a point where you can do a crossover. You know, I've seen that happen with the digitals. Here, you share my digital out on your campaign and vice versa.
Yeah. A lot of people give digitals to help. You know, do you have stretch goals that you're doing?
Yeah, my stretch goals are I have a set of chibi stickers done by Sammy Kirkendall. And then I have my author's gallery, which is my storyboarding and kind of my walkthrough of creating an indie comic.
Great.
And it's got some funny little pictures and stuff in it because I'm not an artist.
Yeah. Well, the other thing to do is once you're part of the community and you build in the community, let me show you on my campaign. And Christy's done some of this, or at least shared her stuff with other people's campaigns because I've seen it before. Is something like this right here. So for every 50 backers, I unlock a free digital. People love little things, and what it does is it also gives you a reason to post on your campaign more often, right?
Okay.
Until something happens, you have no reason to post, and you feel bad, right? So this helps you give you excuses. Oh, we just unlocked this. Also, check out Phil Leon's The Electric Crayon YouTube channel.
There you go, the Zen Den.
Right.
I'll be kicking that back into gear. You'll have to come over and hang out on that one.
Sure.
You guys.
Yeah.
Guys, it's usually me and Warren, man, just doing drawing.
I love some more.
Anybody?
I'm kind of excited. Like, I kind of wonder if I'll hit 1,300 tonight. I mean, it is viable.
It is viable. You're doing pretty good. I'm seeing increases as you go. Yeah.
You're here all night though, Travis, because I've had 0 backers tonight.
Damn it, Phil.
So I want to hang and stuff, guys, but I'm super tired. I'm gonna have to bail.
Fun, buddy. Yeah.
Phil doesn't have a campaign. He's effing with me.
Oh.
But
Wendy's so sweet. She said
I appreciate the opportunity to come on, and it was a pleasure to meet you guys. And keep an eye out because I share everybody's stuff. You'll probably see my name sharing something you've got eventually.
All right, so I am going to sign everybody off. If you want to say goodbye real quick, I'll do an outro for myself. If you guys want to say goodbye real quick, we'll kick everybody out. Let's start with you, Christy. You were here first.
Okay, well, you can go and catch my Kickstarter, go throw money at it, but you can also buy other shit from me too. And I feel like those kids that sell you the overpriced fucking candies, like, please keep me off drugs. Anyway, but go to the Kickstarter, follow it, like it, share, subscribe, whatever. And thank you very much, Travis. I have to go this way because the mirroring fucks me up. Thank you so much for your help. And I will be coming on Wednesdays and Thursdays if I can that night and just say hi and have camaraderie. It's always good to talk with other people because sometimes, like, you get in the shell and you're like, I don't know how to talk to people. Goo. You know?
What did you get with DoorDash? I need to know.
What? Oh, I got to order fucking Del Taco. I was going to drive to Del Taco and grab just some quick food. But then, like, you're saying, hey, we're doing the thing. I'm like, fuck this DoorDash. Actually, I got Postmates. It's a little cheaper, but yeah.
Right, we'll do the math of how much you got backed versus how much you think, and we'll see how much we owe you.
I think it's like I think it was $22, but I think I made.
You started out here. I can tell you at 1,229. So yeah, no, you're good. You're good. You started at 1,229. So you've made more than Del Taco. So congrats, and you got to eat Del Taco.
Yeah, I ate like a pig on the thing. I was like,
all right, good night, Christy. All right, Phil, your time to say goodbye.
Yeah, Phil Leon. I do mainly color work, but I also do pre-press. I do a little bit of editing, some page layouts for like credits, designs, and stuff like that. Yeah, if you want to see what I do, and of course we've got Cthulhu coming up, so you'll see some of it in there. And just put out a first issue of White Devil over at Silverline Comics. Got Kaiju Mania coming up. And if you need any color work, just go ahead and check out my profile page on Facebook and look around. And you can hit me up there, or you can find me on most social media under either Phil Leon or Philman X.
Nice. Nathan, what do you got?
I've got Godslayers on Kickstarter, Godslayers Episode 1, and we funded, so I'm going to be getting started on Godslayers Episode 2 here pretty soon. And you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All of them are Gage the Wolf, at Gage the Wolf, sometimes with an underscore.
Nice. And I'm Travis Gibb. If you haven't checked out Cthulhu Invades Wonderland, do that. If you haven't backed Tales of the Collective, please do that. And as a reward for making it this far, for those who love my stuff, let me show you some art I just got for Voodoo Nations 3. This is every Voodoo Nations we do a coaster, and I just got some beautiful colors for it. Check it out.
Do that voodoo that you do.
Isn't that pretty? So that's our new character, Lady Mamba. That'll probably not be our official name, but that was the name I put in the book. I'll probably change that right before because it's a stupid name. But it was what I wanted at the time, and she's really cool. I like her. So that'll be our Voodoo Nations 3 coaster, because if you've been backing Voodoo Nations from the beginning, there's a cool coaster set that comes with it. This is the next coaster.
Oh, cool.
So pretty cool. Yeah. I think it's pretty cool. I think she's pretty cool. She's awesome. So, all right. Good night, everybody. I'm going to play an outro video, and we are going to sign off. Where's my?
Have a good night. It was nice meeting everyone.
All right.
Catch
Much
you later.
love.
Gage, man. Gage Nate.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, guys.